how we fucking hunt ghosts. And as we've pointed out, and as we've said, there are no ghosts.
So this is where the ghosts live, from what we know. And he's not home. Let me see, let me try this. Jake, you may overtake my body. I accept you into my heart and soul. Please, if you are here, take control of me. Use me as a vessel.
Gross.
Nothing.
Yeah, no ghosts. So I guess the lesson of Beaver Creek is there's no such thing as ghosts, there's no God, and the Bible is a lie. Off to Helltown to find out what the government's up to in the middle of fucking nowhere, Ohio. Hell yeah, bumping out here. Can I get some of this safety herb in my lungs, please? And thank you, are welcome here. Jake, you can't have any because they drug test.
Yeah, if you go to work, man, you're gonna get drug tested.
Jake, you son of a bitch! You get out here! Hey, Jake! Ain't coming. He ain't coming because he's afraid of me, Brian Quinby from Street Fight Radio. Brett, would you like a shot at Jake?
Yeah.
I just fell in a hole. That was Jake. That was all Jake.
I think
we
Jake
found
do
the
that?
ghost.
Jake won't let you see your mentions. He's like, don't look at your phone while you're at work, motherfucker.
Can you imagine being that sensitive? Like you,
Well, that's
like
what
that
they're
is the
PC as hell.
ultimate.
Hey, you know what? This is the freest goddamn country, and it's so free that if you don't stand up, you aren't a free person. And goddamn it, boy, if you don't stand up right now, you ain't free. Because this is, you have the freedom to do whatever you want. But I'm telling you, I have the freedom to make you feel bad for doing the freedom. Just get up and say you love it. Just get up right now, Copernic. God damn it. It's so free that you can't do it. You have to. It's free because there's only one way to be. That's why it's free. So be that. Damn you. They don't have anything to live. I mean, their kids hate them. They don't have, I mean, all their money got stolen by banksters and shit. Healthcare's running through the fucking roof.
Oh my God, have you heard the news? Kids are dying of kratom.
That's not true.
They're injecting it into their veins.
I don't think that's happening.
An ABC Action News exclusive. A mom says a popular herb killed her son.
The most recent death happened in early June. Kratom, also known as metrogenine, was one of 4 drugs blamed for his death.
This was like the devil's drug.
It really is just a green powder that makes people feel better.
Yeah, it's a leaf. It grows from the ground, you smash it up, you make a tea out of it, you throw it down the back of your throat, you eat some capsules, and you feel better, your mind's clear. And most people that use kratom don't have access to healthcare or prescriptions or any of that regular medicine stuff. They get it from local stores or online.
Let's do an example here. You're a young person. You don't understand how all this works. So let me explain this to you. When you get hurt in your older age, let's say you're 34, you work on a roof, you fall off and you crush your fucking heel, right? It's all shattered. The doctor 10, 15 years ago was like, that's fucked up, that really hurts. You're gonna need some opioids to kill that pain. And then the DEA says, no, you can't have those anymore. These doctors have to tighten up their prescriptions. And now you don't have any. You can't afford them. What do? You can take kratom. It has the same effects, it's less addictive, and it's more gross. So that even brings down the use. You're not gonna use it as much. Kratom kills the pain in your body. It also cures social anxiety.
The government's solution to stuff like this is always prohibition, which means putting more people in jail.
How big is your appetite for the war on drugs? I'm sure it's small. It's shrinking every single day. Don't let them continue it. Don't let them outlaw more stuff.
Good point.
Thank you. How many times have you gone into work and then looked at your boss and said, what are they doing? You ever think about the levels at a job, Brett? Of course, the people on the very bottom. What do?
Usually clean.
Yeah, and then there is the people just above them. They're the ones that do the second hardest job at the place, right?
Deal with customers?
Yeah, that sort of thing. And then there's another level above that, and that's the manager that's in the place. Now let's think about what comes after that, right? You might have a guy named like Glenn that comes to your office every 6 months, and you have to lay out the red carpet for Glenn. Think about what the person above Glenn does. Jerry is the person above Glenn, right?
Okay.
His job is basically going to lunch, right?
Yeah, powerful meetings,
Yeah.
shaking hands real hard.
We're gonna go up to the CEO now. The people that sit around a table and who knows what they're doing? Nobody knows what they talk about.
Playing cards.
What connection does that person have to what you do and what the customer gets? It just seems like you could really chop like 5 or 6 levels off of any job and the company would still run perfectly.
Think about your job. Now imagine your manager isn't there. How much smoother would your day run?
I mean, how many of you work a job where you don't even know who the fucking CEO is of the company? That means they're absolutely useless. They're parasites.
They're on the top, getting most of the money, sending their kids to private school, driving the fanciest cars, and they can't make a sandwich. Every new level of hierarchy is more money coming out of your paycheck. Unions are fucking great because it's not HR.
You need solidarity with the other workers. We need to use that and exercise that. You and your other workers are the most important people at that company. I mean, hell, the way I think about it, maybe you don't get a union at all and you just take the whole company away from the bosses, and that's called a co-op.
For the almighty dollar, everyone's a slave. Cause what's the point of doing shit if you ain't getting paid?
I mean, I tell you what, even the jobs that paid me nothing, like when I was first learning them, it was like, all right, I can do this. You just need somebody to get the plates and make them go from here to here. I can be the master of that. I was really into that, and I can do that. But after a while, it's
Hey everybody, welcome to Street Fight Radio. Hope you're doing well. It's almost over. It's almost the end of the Christmas nightmare. No more extra money. No more part-time job doing Christmas. But I've enjoyed my time. I've had a lot of fun. Hope your holidays are going well, or if you hate them, I hope you found a new level of hatred that you enjoy even more. This is the #1 anarcho-comedy radio show on any station across the nation. My name is Brett Payne. My co-host is Brian Quinby. And we're here to spread mess across the U.S. Distress, disruption, corruption, any of the things that will topple this American empire. That's what we desire. And we're bringing that to you 2 times a week via this podcast. Wednesday nights, The Basement Show. We hang out, yell at each other, figure out what the fuck's going on in the world. And on Sunday nights, we take calls from all y'all. So that number to dial is 614-655-3887. And you can get through on the line. We're not full right now, so we do have an opening. If you want more of what we do, right now we got the special bonus Patreon audio show, Buttfest 2000. Brian and Alexander Edward from Minion Death Cult Podcast are investigating the much maligned butt rock genre and what exactly it means and where it came from. That's all available at patreon.com/streetfightradio.
People like that show.
I like that show.
Yeah, it's a goofier one than usual.
You two are just it's not a perfect match. Like you both have very distinct opinions about music, but they don't always align.
Alexander is a lot cooler than I am.
Yeah,
I think that's the problem.
Ultimate
is like that like, well, not only is he like better looking than me, but he's also cooler than me and just has way better taste in music than I ever did.
Right.
Although he'll be like, I listened to all that stuff back then, and it's like, yeah, well, but you also listen to like bands I've never heard of that have like split 7 inches and stuff.
Right.
Which if you're a guy that's into bands with split 7 inches, you're like on another level of cool over me.
He liked At the Drive-In in middle school, you know.
Yeah. But it's fun. It's cool. It's like you get people on there that are like a little bit different from each other, and then you just don't have like two guys either making fun of this thing. Although this week I did get made fun of. Alex laughed at me in such a derisive way, more than anything anybody's done to me on any of these miniseries, because I said Nickelback had a song that shreds.
Oh, they do?
Because their Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Really?
Yeah, and I played it for like a second, and dude, you'd have thought I told the funniest joke that I've ever told. This laugh was so huge, and he was just like, this sucks, dude. It's just like, oh, fine. You know, I was being objective. If something shreds, it shreds.
Sure. I mean, and I think, you know, it is a subjective thing, but you should acknowledge when you're like, that's an undeniable song.
Yeah. It's not an undeniable song. I didn't even say it was good. I just said it shreds, and it's surprising.
Okay.
You know, it's like one of those things that you hear it and you're like, that's surprising.
Wow, that got me off guard.
Yeah, I didn't think Nickelback could go like that, but they can. Which is like, that's been the kind of point of the show, you know. This week we got into some Creed. Obviously next week will be a big Creed week too, because, you know, they were end of the 90s, into the 2000s, but you know, you play a little bit of a Creed song and you're like, okay. I mean, I can't really make fun of the guitars here. Yeah. I like heavy metal. This sounds like heavy metal to me.
Yeah, no. I mean, some of it goes hard. There's sometimes, I've been listening to a ton of it, and I'm like, I fucking don't. I'm not complaining about this. This doesn't suck. This is sweet. This is loud and obnoxious and bold.
I think it's it's bad because it's cynical and kind of. I mean, like when you start to learn the backstories of some of these things, Lit was the one that was like the one where I was like, yeah, this stuff still sucks though, because it's like, apparently, and you can hear this on the 90s episode and on the intro episode, but they had a hair metal band, a grunge band, a post-grunge band, and then this band. And it's like, these are just guys that were going to do it. They were going to make a living doing rock and roll no matter fucking what. You know what I mean? They didn't care what the rock and roll was. They would make any, they would have been the Strokes if they didn't hit with My Own Worst Enemy. They would have been doing like,
right, they
you know, the Strokes stuff. Yeah. And then after, So it's just one of those things that's like, that's the point where you're like, this is just all business. Yeah. You know, that's, I think, why I can be derisive towards that type of music is the cynical businessy nature of it.
See, but that's the thing about the 90s stuff though, is I think most of that stuff is legitimately good. I think that a lot of that set a wake up, like Alice in Chains is butt rock to me, but they set up this wave for people to just try to sound like that, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, are originals.
Yes.
And then you move into the stuff
Wait,
that
Allison-
becomes
Right.
a copy of that.
And Alice in Chains was like this fucking addict guy that's like screeching in pain, and then he has Jerry Cantrell like harmonizing underneath it. They've got this huge powerhouse of vocals. The guitar is so simple. They do have good solos, but the guitar stuff is so simple. But like that can't be recreated. You know, when it just gets distilled down to like one guy just being frustrated in a room is what it sounds like, you know, or it's frustration for no reason. It's like, the copycat stuff that came later.
Yeah. It's not, I mean, and I'm not even saying these people couldn't have had those feelings.
Sure.
You know what I
course.
mean? I'm saying it's cynical because it is a thing where it's like, I'm saying it's cynical because it's a thing where it's like, hey, we see this music is kicking up dust. Let's make some of this music.
Yeah.
And that's,
We can do that.
second wave stuff. If it doesn't significantly change on the first wave in a way that is interesting, sucks.
Yeah.
It just isn't cool. You know what I mean? And maybe that's like a wrong way to look at shit, but it's just, for me, it's like, man, if you're trying to grab on to a wave that's happening, it's significantly less cool than just doing the thing that you want to do. The reason, the Strokes are a band that get a lot of hate, you know what I mean? But fuck, dude, they were doing something that nobody else was doing when they started doing it, and it was fucking cool, and it was great to hear.
Right, they were part of a scene of people that were doing stuff, but yeah, it was an iteration.
Yeah, and they were the first to. They were the ones that made it like a scene that you could like be a part of.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they were the first. And if you read Meet Me in the Bathroom, they even talk about how like they made a lot less money, which they didn't need it, but they made a lot less money than the other bands that made it because they were the first, and they fucking came in there and they did this thing, and their heat started to die down when the genre started to pick up. You know what I mean? It's just like stuff like that. Like I like that. Korn is another one, right? Like there was a scene of bands doing that kind of music, but Korn was the one that grabbed people, and they did it right, and they fucking made a thing, and then fucking 5 years later the thing was dead.
Yeah.
The thing just gets killed. Those things get killed after 5 years, but like with butt rock, you can carry on the radio. Radio rock music will just always play Touch, Peel, Stand. They will never stop playing that song. You're like, whose days are the new? And it's like they sing Touch, Peel, Stand,
right,
and that song will be on the radio. And on the day that I die in my deathbed, hopefully further down the road, Touch, Peel, Stand will play on a hard rock radio station.
Yeah, it's a milestone for frustrated men. It was a big turning point for frustrated men when that song came out,
Yeah. I'd love to find some women butt rock groups, really, but I think the whole genre hinges on it being dudes, because it's like a phony machismo.
Yeah, I'd love to
thing.
hear some submissions from women.
Yeah, please. I'd love to hear some. I mean, it would be nice to even hear. I think it's a very male audience for that kind of music, too, because it is men singing about feelings that are wrong.
Yeah.
Like that they're wronged.
Very selfish, usually extremely selfish. Very much, I'm the center of the universe. Yeah.
I took the 4-axis compass quiz today.
Oh, fun!
You know that thing?
Yes, I did. I took it too.
I'm going to tell you something that'll blow your fucking mind, Brett. You're never going to believe this, and
okay.
It seems like I lied. I didn't lie on these answers. Now, one of the. I'll explain why this blew my mind, but I am. Hold on. I am 51.6% female.
Okay.
In my gender.
Wow.
I think, sexistly, that is because I like baking. It's the only thing I can think of. I double thumbs up baking. And I think that made me.
Well, I mean,
a woman, apparently, which you would never believe that. You always tell me I'm the dudest guy in the world, you know?
Yeah. It's kind of a
quiz
facade,
is wrong.
though. Your doodliness can sometimes be a little too much.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess. I mean, that's what
You
this
said you were
quiz
friends
is
with all
telling me.
girls. You
What?
know. You said you were a girls guy. When
I
you
hung
were-
out with all girls growing up. Yeah, most. I mean, my best friends were girls. But most of my friends were men, obviously.
Yeah, I'm sure you probably had a light touch with some of the punishment in there. They probably call that girly.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to, how people should,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think it's the baking. I just think they were just like, baking? That's
Well,
for
that was
women. And it's
definitely
like,
in
that's
there
not
for that reason.
That's
Yeah.
not for women. Baking is for everybody. Now, I sound like some guy that's trying to explain it away, like I think the quiz means something. I just am annoyed that, like, baking is gendered. I love baking.
Is that what they said it was? Maybe they just want to see where you're at on that scale.
That's what it says in I think after you do the results, it explains it. That baking, you said you bake.
Oh.
And either that or it makes me normal, which 54% normal. So I'm a normal person. Finally,
Barely normal.
everybody knows I'm normal.
You're the normal guy.
I'm the most normal
completely
on the
normal
normal
guy.
lady, actually.
Yes.
That quiz might be a little bit flawed. I think.
It was a bad quiz. I saw plenty of people explain why.
Yeah. I figured. I took it because I wanted to see how leftist I am, which is very.
Yeah, I was
Of
too.
course.
I got manly man. I was surprised how manly man I was.
Yeah, you.
61%.
You have. Here's why you have that anger. Really,
Yeah.
I have fear. You have anger.
Sure.
And men are angry.
Right.
And that's just the reason. Like, that's the emotion that men feel.
You're right.
And I say I have anger, but I really have fear.
Right.
Like a constant fear.
Right. Right. You just, you're only comfortable calling it anger.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm mad angry right now. It's like, no, you're not.
You're fucking taking a walk
quivering.
and you're starting to cry while you walk, and you're like, I'm fucking crying because I'm manly. That's why. It's not fear. I'm not afraid of anything.
Yeah.
It's like, you're afraid of everything, sir. I've been having a 2-week panic attack.
Right.
Oh, I killed that panic
I
attack.
think that's
the other
normal,
day.
though. I think a lot of people are closer to that. People
Yeah.
have more do quiet crying than they let on.
I know. People get alone, and it's just like, I remember when I told my therapist that, and he was like, he kind of gave me the impression, it's like everybody does that. When you're alone and you're just having a day, and you just, like, I'm walking, and I just sort of start being like, I think I'm going to cry. I don't know why, but it's going to happen. And I was like, it just happens. Can you believe that? We got to put a stop to that.
Yeah. Is there a pill I can take?
That's how I acted with him. I was like, we got to put a stop to this. This is sickening. And he was like, no, people do that, man. People can get in their feelings when they're alone. And it just happens.
Yeah. Drake does it.
Don't mean you're sad,
Right.
but
You just got to have a comfortable relationship with that zone, I guess.
hell yeah. So, yeah, it's been, I would love to hear, if people are calling in tonight, we'd love to hear some Christmas bonus talk.
Okay.
Lack of, or, what we like is the bad. We would love you all to get
Interesting.
money bonuses, but we like it when you get like a crystal ball with your name etched in it.
Yeah. A hologram with the company logo to put on your desk at home.
My wife got a cup that said something like, you put the work in teamwork or something like that. You know what I mean? Something like
Yeah.
really like worky.
Yeah,
you know?
you really make this team work.
yeah. And I was just like, that's sad.
Yeah,
man.
that's horrible. And that's not even like we like you or we cherish you or appreciate you. It's like you fucking work. You just like you show up here and you work. It's what we want too. That's all we want really is work.
Yeah. It's really like she works for a major corporation that could totally give bonuses.
Yeah.
Like money bonuses.
$100.
$100. People would
I mean-
lose their fucking minds for $100 bonus.
We traditionally did the gift hams. And I investigated and looked through the companies, and To get one mailed to people, it costs about $75 to $90 to make it happen, and that's like something where you're like, well, could I just have the cash instead?
I think people are going to get the cash more this year, or they're going to make it a card. You're going to get people are going to get a lot of Amazon and Walmart gift cards. I think Amazon mostly.
Sure. Yeah.
You
Maybe
know?
a tongue in cheek, like, yeah.
Yeah.
You could get stuff delivered to you.
I mean, it's Amazon and
Buy
it's
whatever you want.
It's Amazon and Starbucks are the two cards that you get from people like that are like kind of. It's like you wouldn't get one for your wife. You would get one.
Yeah,
for
I
your
would.
wife. You know what I mean?
No, I wouldn't actually get one for my wife because she would. If I bought a gift card for my wife, she would be like, "Wait, did you use my rewards card when you bought this?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't know what it was. I don't have it on my phone." She's like, "I can't accept this. We didn't get double stars on this."
She is a Starbucks rewards maniac.
It doesn't go towards her. Yeah, her app totals.
Yeah, I can't believe how into the rewards she is.
Well, she's not a drinker. That's like her drugs. She just is
Drinks a lot
coffee
of
all
coffee.
the time.
Just
and
a
that's her jam.
powerful, just the most powerful amount of coffee I've ever seen anybody drink.
Yeah, she has
6 a day. Just,
yeah.
I'll drink 6 coffees today.
Yeah, she goes for it.
I drink 2, and I feel like it's a lot.
Yeah, that's the other thing is, maybe not the most ethical, but the $5 to Starbucks, like to buy somebody like a fancy ass frou-frou coffee, it goes so far. I think that is I like that gift.
I do too.
We're sending out $5 cards to some people that we like, podcasters and stuff, and I fucking love getting them. I love when I'm just like buy one and I'm like, oh my god, I'll just go get a fucking dragon fruit refresher,
Dragon fruit refresher.
I love that shit.
My drink has gotten up to $6.50 now.
That's wild.
$7 sometimes for my coffee because I like that peppermint mocha. I'm on that peppermint mocha with coconut milk steez.
Yeah.
I don't drink real milk anymore. I'll drink whatever other kind of milk except for soy. I won't drink soy milk because it tastes like vegetables.
Yeah.
You can taste the vegetables in soy milk.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not because I am already soy. I drank Soylent for like 2 years, so I don't care about that. It's the I don't want my drink to taste like the same taste as green beans.
Yeah.
I'm just not into.
Yeah, I can understand that now.
I like oat milk. I like your coconut milks. I like your almond milks. I'm so glad milk is outdated. I'm glad milk's gone.
Yeah.
We don't need that shit.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty.
Unless I need some fat, I'm not using any milk ever again. And then, the way I think about it is like maybe this is a little bit an unhealthy way to look at when I drink these different milks. Is that I'm like, this is just like water. I could drink this all day.
Yeah.
You drink stuff like this all day. It's basically water.
Yeah. Well, I eat oats all day too. Oats in cereal, oats in granola, oats in a fucking bar of some sort. So I love it.
That's true.
like oat
You're an oat guy. You like oats. I like oats too, man.
Oat edibles. I make my wheat edibles out of oatmeal.
You gotta make a healthy. You're gonna make a healthy one someday.
A healthy edible?
Yeah. My
Should
wife
I?
been eating these breakfast bars.
Okay, I could maybe.
And it lit her up because she said it tastes like Golden Grams.
Oh.
And then she was like, and then I ate a piece of it, and I was like, man, this ain't doing shit. And it tasted so good. She was like, I want another piece of that motherfucker. And then
too much.
She's been folding those mean shirts. So
that's fun.
She gets sore.
Yikes.
We all get sore,
Everybody gets sore.
I was complaining about being sore the other night because it's cold. Like once it gets cold, my walks make me significantly more sore.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel old as hell.
I've already, because the going outside has gone down, my all my stuff is acting up. All my soreness is just like right there. Like you gotta do something.
Why does that happen? What does this cold do? It's like, why do my bones all feel like they're cracking now? They weren't fucking 2 months ago. They were all like loosey goosey. I could have done yoga 2 months. Well, I tried in front of all of our friends, and they made fun of me. So
No, we didn't.
you made fun of me a little bit.
What did I say?
You guys all laughed at me because I was trying to do Happy Baby and I fell over. And also that I couldn't do another one of them. Just basically, Katie says I look like I'm made out of wood when I do yoga. I think like Apple has a Apple Fitness Plus thing now. And they have yoga on it. And I think I'm going to like, I want to do it, you know? It's 20 minutes a day. I feel like it would make me feel good.
Yeah,
Like
20 minutes is not very long.
I know, but you know how it is. I don't turn the TV on during the day. It would require changing my whole setup, my whole thing.
Yeah.
My like whole, I have
That's
a
good, though.
routine
Right.
that I do in the morning that I've been doing now for like 2 years, and changing it is so much. It's just like when things get out of whack, like I'll forget to take my medicine and shit like that, you know? But I've been messing with it a little bit lately, you know?
Okay.
So that's something. That's something. For those of you who sent us that article about the family buying the golf course, I am saving that for Wednesday.
Yeah.
Never seen quite. I mean, don't Google it. Just be ready for it on Wednesday. I also have some more. Mike Rowe came back out and started talking about some other shit
Great.
this week. Just, he was on Hannity. This guy, post-partisan, but he's on Hannity. He's on Fox News 47 times a day.
Yeah.
They gotta be paying him, right?
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure.
Just like a little bit, though.
I don't know. Or he probably is just doing it to, I mean, you want to be friends with those people, you know? Like I would, right? Why not? You want to be in front of that audience.
Yeah,
You're spewing bullshit to those people. Like the exposure is good for him.
they are actually easier to bullshit than a lot of audiences too. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like there's a lot of audiences where it's like, I don't know. I mean, all the cable news audiences though are easy to bullshit.
Well, but yeah, I mean, but it's just a place where you can go and be like, you know, where he goes, you know, the best stimulus I ever heard of was getting a dang dirty job, you know, like where you can just do that.
The best stimulus I ever heard is getting a dirty job.
Yeah.
Best dang stimulus I ever got was a swift kick in the ass from my dad when he made me get a job at the movie theater.
Yeah. That's why I'm here right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, my beard is out of control. I'm very unwashed and
I got beard
miserable
oil
today.
yesterday. For the first time in my life, I used some beard oil.
That's nice. That's
Yeah.
good.
I mean,
Keeps
it smells
keeps
good.
it in order.
It smells good.
Smelling good is
Look what
nice
it
too.
did.
Didn't you give your honey a kiss as soon as you're done, and then she says, you know, you smell good?
No, I didn't.
That's what you should do.
I just
Add
put
that
it
to
on.
your
I went
routine.
like this.
I'm gonna change your routine.
I went like this, and I put it on. I slathered it.
You gotta
on
get in the roots.
My
You gotta
beard.
dig it
Oh,
into
really?
the
You gotta
roots.
dig in.
Yeah, push it.
I don't know what it's
the
for.
Skin, get the skin beneath.
I don't know what it's for, so
Keeps
I
that
just
skin
kind of.
underneath healthy.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
Oh.
and like at the root.
I'll start using it.
Yes.
I never used it before. I put it in. I was like, that smells good. You know.
Yeah.
That's what I say about beard oil. This is my new beard oil treatment that I do as part of my my new getting ready routine.
And then you have like a bacon margarita for breakfast.
Yep.
Your
Or
beard oil. You use Kick-Ass body lotion. Pile driver soap. Beer soap.
Pile driver soap. Axe body spray.
No, just all the like manly man, like Harry Back Jacks, Kick-Ass body wash that's in
Duke
all
Cannon,
the stores. Duke
my
Cannon.
dude.
Yeah, Duke Cannon.
It's Duke Cannon's big time of the year right now, right?
Duke Cannon is
People get
doing well.
mad Duke Cannon stuff for Christmas.
This soap ain't for sissies.
Yeah. This is for powerful. It's Duke Cannon.
Yeah.
And it is the chapstick's like 4 times the size of a regular chapstick.
Yep.
Which is like, okay. I mean, I'll just use the small chapsticks. I have hemp chapstick now. I'm being made fun of by my family for it.
Really? Like it has
Blistex,
CBD in it? Oh no, it's just the Blistex off the shelf hemp.
It just says hemp on it. They're like, "Oh, you just buy that because it has weed in it?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Okay.
Hey, if you're gonna use
More
cannabis,
natch.
I want to be a part of it. You know,
Yeah, hemp. Love it.
I'm trying to help the cannabis industry. If you're growing hemp, which what a waste of time. You know.
We need it for some stuff to make like ropes.
Yeah, to make ropes.
That's what they always say.
Oh, you know they used to
Man,
make
you
ropes
can make
out
the
of that
strongest
stuff.
rope ever and have it regrow every 3 months, man.
Man, George Washington. That's actually from that movie, Dazed and Confused. George Washington used hemp, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man.
Love hemp.
Yeah. All right. Are we taking calls?
I think we
wanna
should if you
take a
want
few
to.
calls?
Feel like it?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I always
Let's see.
want to take calls. That's all I want to do. That's my dream.
Oh, jeez. Where is my...
Oh, my word. Oh, jeez.
All right, let's get in here. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Yo, what up? This is Nico, a.k.a. Kudzu Gardens. Big fan of Butt Fest 2000.
Oh,
Love it.
You like the music or just the podcast?
Both, man. You know, butt rock. Grew up on butt rock.
Yeah.
So
my
it's,
mom.
So it's pretty timeless.
God, everybody likes the music. You would think nobody
mom.
likes the music, but I think we have a hipper than usual audience, and they like the music.
Yeah.
I think that it's mainstream media, the lamestream media, made us dislike that music.
Yeah, I think a lot of cool working parents listen to hard rock radio to make it through the day, and my mom did. My mom was super into it. My dad too. But then, like, she did the patriotic thing after 9/11, and that kind of butt rock kind of changed with it too.
She's like Ted Cruz.
She's like followed along with the path. Of
She turned into Ted
angry
Cruz and was
music.
like, I can't listen to rock music no more. I can only listen to country music.
Yeah.
My cousin and I definitely went to a Creed concert when we were like 13 and 14, and as much as I hate that music now, they really brought it, man. They really slapped. It was a great show.
Yeah.
Alice in Chains minus Lane Staley. Lane Staley had just died, and Alice in Chains without him opened for them, and it was a pretty good show, man. I mean, Creed's butt as hell, but we had a good time, and our parents were fine with us going because they're Christian, right? So like,
great.
You know,
it's so funny.
Didn't get any trouble.
It's so funny because it seems like they probably actually got more of an audience because they were Christian than, like, they ran away from being called Christian. I remember them always being like, well, we're not actually a Christian band. We're a band that are spiritual. And it's like Alex on the Buttfest show mentioned that, like, he was really into Creed for a period of time because he really wanted to be Christian because he didn't want to go to hell.
Yeah, smart.
And like,
right. Yeah.
And parents would let you listen to it because it was Christian. And it's like, man, maybe if I was in a band, now I don't want to be considered Christian, but it sort of feels like some of the bands that really break through and say they're Christian make a little extra money. You know, POD made a little bit of extra money probably than some of the other.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because some of that new metal, you know, the parents would be like, "You're not listening to this shit." They're cursing and you know, it's all kill this and kill that, and then like, then POD comes out and the parents are like, "Hey, you're allowed to listen to this. It's Christian. These are good boys." And it's like they made a little extra more famous. They can tour. I'll bet you POD and Creed could do a tour now. Well, you know, when the COVID's over, they could do a tour and sell out venues.
Yeah, people went into it.
100%. Yeah, so what's up, guys? I'm calling because I've recently been doing some stuff with our local DSA chapter here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, for Forsyth County. Been doing some organizing and canvassing with another group called Housing Justice Now, which is a part of they're in partnership with the DSA here. And I got a little bit of a story of kind of a small business tyrant, but like a slumlord version of that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Not that it
you're out
exists.
there doing that.
Yeah. The tenant organizing, I think, is one of the best functions of the DSA. I think they're really good at that.
And I did see the video. I saw the video. There was like 40 some people out there raising hell outside City Hall or whatever. It was awesome.
Yeah, as outside of our county commissioners meeting, I don't want to steal any valor. I'm pretty new to the groups. I've only recently felt kind of like healthy enough to participate in some of this action and get back out there and be part of it. So Housing Justice Now, Winston-Salem DSA, they've been doing a lot of really hard work, a lot of legwork with housing right now and with evictions. We just went out and canvassed the other day a little section that's where a lot of tenants are being evicted, just total slumlord apartments. And we went and talked to them and gave them some information about maybe some help that they could get and some resources available for people who are facing eviction. But anyway, I ended up like this being like one of the first actions I've ever done with Housing Justice. I ended up on the news getting interviewed about why I was there. And apparently my landlord saw it. I mean, I didn't really say anything too inflammatory. This was outside of a county commissioners meeting where, like, we're protesting general evictions in our county and asking that, the sheriff's department stop evicting people. It wasn't specifically targeted at my landlord. It wasn't targeted at his business or anything. I was just out there, trying to raise hell with other people. And he saw it and texted my partner on Saturday, yesterday, while I was out canvassing with Housing Justice.
Wow.
And he sent a picture of a screenshot of me from the news video, and was like, nice pics on the news Thursday. And I mean, we don't have like a fun like ribbing relationship or anything. I don't want to like we don't have a playful relationship. It's basically like, hey, where's the rent? Hey, I left the rent. I usually send him $sign when I pay the rent. Or whatever.
Yeah, right.
That's like the least amount of playfulness is $sign. Hey, $sign. There's the rent.
$sign and thumbs up. It's just like totally impersonal. And so we've had issues with him and him being hostile. He kind of has a temper. He basically, like, we've been renting from him for probably 7 or 8 years. Back in 2013, my dad was in the hospital in Georgia, and he eventually passed away down there after a few days. And I was down there. We were behind on rent maybe, maybe 10 to 14 days. So we were a good bit behind rent. And he's texted me a bunch saying, hey, I need you to pay this rent. And finally, I just because I was going to the hospital a bunch, I was tired. It was traumatic. I basically was like, look, man, you're not my fucking boss. Like, get off my back. I'm down here with my dad in the hospital. I'll get you your rent money. It's $450. Like, fuck off, wait. So in any event, he ends up calling and leaving this just like foaming at the mouth, raving message, cussing me out, saying that I'm running, saying that I'm trying to stiff him for rent. And, he says, you're right, man. I'm not your boss. I'm your landlord, and you're my tenant, and I will evict you. He said that in the voicemail. So the next day, me and my partner, we left our daughter with my sister, and we drove all the way back to North Carolina. Got a money order out and paid him and texted him, and then drove all the way back down to Georgia.
Wow.
To be with my dad again. And so since then it's just been shitty repairs and like a really slumlord situation. So.
Yeah, that's awful. And that's I mean, the sending the text message about seeing you on the news is just seems like threatening to me.
It does. It seems very intimidating. And What's interesting is this wasn't a protest about him, but he just inserted himself into the conversation. I feel like I feel like he just made it about him.
You think he? Well, I mean, he probably saw you on the news and felt like you were complaining of you were striking against him. You know what I'm saying? Like seeing you there made him think, "Oh no, he's gonna come for me now." You know?
Well, and probably, well, yeah. I mean, absolutely, and maybe he's right to think that. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely. He and sending that text to my partner, kind of sending that kind of threat. Message is loud and clear. So I don't know, man. I think I need to find some of his other tenants, and I think that we need to start talking.
Yeah, I would too. I mean, that is a really wild, threatening thing to do. Sending a screen cap of you on the news. I mean, it took guts for you to go on the news too, because a lot of people that get involved with this stuff are afraid to kind of do stuff like that too. So good on you for doing it, but you might be seeing some of the consequences that people are afraid of. I mean, if you talk to his other tenants, though, are you in a building, or are you in like a are you in a building, or are you in like a single house that? You know what I'm saying?
Right. So, yeah. So I'm actually in a single family unit. We have a 2-bedroom. It's my partner and I and our 2 kids. And it's a little 2-bedroom, but we're cozy. We're happy in it. I've got a basement here. I mean, the place is a piece of shit. It's got lots of issues. But I have a basement where I do my artwork. I'm a painter, and I work down here. I'm in the basement, and so there are some advantages to living here. I don't want to give it up, honestly. I'd rather fight for it than just move out. And if he wants to have because I have paid all my rent. Like, it's not like I'm at risk of facing an eviction, but I think that if he's mad at me, he can make my life hellish. Yeah,
I've often worried about the renewing of the lease over the years has caused me a lot of worries, because it's like, if I piss this guy off, then he's not going to want to renew the lease with me. But I also know that like a lot of landlords just like to have long-term tenants because it's easier to deal with them.
Yeah.
So it's like, he's going to make that cost benefit and that risk analysis, and see if having you there makes him more nervous than not having you there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a hard time to get people to move into your place. It seems like the time that you can sort of push back against it and be like, hey, what's the fucking issue? It's going to be hard to fill a lease, at least for another, 7-8 months or 6 months at least. People aren't going to be getting out and doing stuff, and moving is a real pain in the ass now and all that stuff. And I just sort of feel like if you're really willing to go for it and find those other tenants, then it could be worth it. It could do you well, at least give you some kind of relief, knowing that you've stood up for yourself.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's what I'm going to do. I'm sick of it. Like, I'm sick of being told to shut up because because I don't have the same amount of money as somebody else. I think a lot of people are sick of it, and I think it's a great time for us all to come together and find our common enemies, whether that be landlords or bosses, and stand the fuck up to them, fight them in the streets. I'm going to jump off of here, guys. Can I shout out some local groups and some calls to action real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Great, man. Thank you guys so much. Love Buttfest. Love what y'all do. I really appreciate you letting me come on and talk.
Yeah.
Shout out to Winston-Salem DSA, Housing Justice Now, Precise Court Support. If anybody wants to call Sheriff Kimbrough, Forsyth County, this motherfucker is still evicting people from their homes. That number is 336-917-7420. Also, you can Venmo Housing Justice Now at Housing Justice Now. All that money goes toward helping people fight evictions. Also, there's a bail fund I could send you some info for if you want to put that up for some of the actual street warriors who are actually fighting those fights in the streets. And also, I'm an artist, so follow me and my work at kazoo_garden on Instagram. Thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate y'all.
Yeah, have a great night.
All right.
Kudzu Garden's also really good at the chat. Always shows up in the live stream on Twitch. I always appreciate your input on what we're talking about. It's always good. So thanks for that. And thanks for doing the hard work. And, it's what sometimes people ask, like, should I try to unionize my shitty job? I'm worried I might lose my shitty job. And it's like, well, don't you think you could just find another shitty job?
If it's a shitty enough job, then I always lean toward yes.
Yeah, same with if it's a shitty situation and it's cheap, and I don't know, if you can find something else like it that's available. I'm sure there's plenty of other bad rental situations available for the same price range, Yeah.
Yeah.
You might as well try to win against one of these assholes.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Fuck that guy. I can't believe that. That's a really threatening thing to do.
Seems like it's like I got my eye on you. Like,
yeah.
I know what you're about.
That little thing they do, that two.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Radicals.
Yeah, these effing Antifa radicals here. Oh, I'm sure that pissed him off though.
Oh yeah. He doesn't. Yeah, he was mad. He cussed out the mayor. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey guys, this is Jonathan.
What's up, Jonathan?
From Louisville, Kentucky.
Love it.
What's up?
So I actually, it's funny. I called in for the first time a few weeks ago with the calling in sick, and I had actually intended to talk about something else, but then when I got on there, I realized that was the topic, so I kind of had to make something up on the spot.
Oh, good job. What a good sport.
You played along.
Yeah.
See, we were worried that people wouldn't play along on that episode, and you are a shining example of people playing along. That's really cool.
Yeah, so it was fun, actually. I had a good time, and it was really fun listening to all of them. So, but anyway, yeah, so I've been a listener for a couple of years. I first found out about you guys when you were on Citations Needed talking about Mike Rowe.
Yeah.
And I hate Mike Rowe, so that really resonated with me.
Oh, thank you. I love doing Citations Needed. Those dudes are cool as hell.
Yeah. But anyway, so one thing I wanted to call in about tonight was that Give 'em the Pickle that segment you guys did.
The first thing,
some flashbacks. Oh no, go ahead.
I gotta ask you something first. If you're gonna talk about Give 'em the Pickle, you have to answer if you think that guy knows what he's doing there with the Give 'em the Pickle. Does he know that it sounds like a hog? He's an older gentleman. But you know what I'm saying.
It's funny. I would think so, but he was like really old. He's dead now, actually. So maybe he was from maybe he's from that. You guys were talking recently about calling people dick. Like maybe he's just from that generation where you wouldn't even think of that.
Right.
That's crazy though, because I think pickle has been a euphemism for hog. Probably since the first time somebody ate a pickle. They were probably the first pickle that ever happened, the guy grabbed it and he put it like right up in front of his thing and was like, look, it looks like that thing that hangs from my between my legs.
Yeah. I'm wondering if our pickle guy, he might be thinking of the ones that are like cut in, that are like quartered. So he's not thinking of he's thinking of like a pickle spear, and those things cost a nickel to him.
The non-phallic variety.
Yeah.
Well, he had to know at some point. Somebody had to walk up to him and be like, "Hey, man, it sounds like you're telling them to fuck the customers."
Right.
It sounds like you're telling dudes to fuck the customer
at that point.
Yeah. Imagine you get that far deep and you're like, oh no, I've been telling people to fuck their customers. Which I mean, like, Honestly, I guess if somebody wanted to fuck me for customer service, Heat O'Brien would be like, all right, I mean, I guess, whatever,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, down to party.
That's true.
It's not the worst thing that's happened to me customer service wise.
True.
You
That's
know, I've had some pretty bad customer service in my life. So you had flashbacks from it?
Oh yeah, I had flashbacks because it was specifically about an ice cream parlor, and that's something I have some experience in. And
Horrifying job to me. Horrifying. Ice cream parlor.
Because
it seems like I want to explain why I think it seems like the worst job in the world. 1, cold.
Okay.
1, it's cold. 2, you stick your hand. I hate scooping ice cream. Nothing on this planet makes me more miserable than trying to scoop ice cream out of one of those containers. And you get the ice cream all over your hands. That's cold. And it's sticky. And any job where a majority of your customers are children, not a good one. So
yeah,
those are the reasons. Yeah. And did you get free samples? I got to ask you if you gave free samples then,
oh
too.
my God, yes.
Yeah,
and
fuck
that. Was one of the terrible things, people who really abused it.
Yeah.
In fact, I got into a fight once with a woman who would come in and she would get like a dozen samples and then not actually get any.
Ooh. That's just people like that, man. I'll tell you the truth here. People like that, they make the world go round to me, you know? It's just you walk in and you're like, they know what you're like, you know that I know that you know what I'm doing. And I'm gonna fucking do it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think they keep you honest. I think it's like if you're gonna say, hey, no, come in, try anything. We'll give you a free sample. It's like you should be able to go, yeah, I'm not really in the mood for this ice cream right now. I'm down. I'm
also
get out of here. None of these really hit.
I've also seen places that are like limit the amount of free samples you can get, and hanging that sign up is not like good.
Now you're in jail.
See, that's a bad vibe to me.
Yeah,
you walk in there and it immediately sets up bad vibes, like you're accusing me of something. You know, you're counting my samples.
We know what you're trying to do. You're trying to get more ice cream than you deserve.
Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah.
What did you say?
Yeah.
You're giving them a number to shoot for too. They're going to do 6.
You give them a number to shoot for. If you say no more than this, then they'll come in and then they'll take the maximum.
Oh God! And you go in there, and I've never worked at one, but I've waited in line at one, and when fucking people are up there just being like, "Let me get a little bit of that brownie batter."
Yeah.
Now let me get a little bit. Like they're fucking asking for samples. It's like, come on! Can't you fucking see me? Can you see me right here? I'm here. I'm a valid human being that's waiting behind you.
Brian, I'm getting kind of flashbacks right now. This is good. This is like therapy for me, talking this out. Oh, man.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, is the line is always like an hour long, and people still don't know what they want when they get up there at all. They're
I know.
like, oh, my God. Wait, you have brownie batter bowls? I didn't even see that. I didn't see that in the 90 minutes I stood in line to get this. I didn't even look at that part of the menu.
The one I go to has a wraparound line, okay?
Yeah.
And there's 2 rows of it, the one by my house. And you stand in the second row and you can look at every single one of the ice creams that exists. You know what I mean? It's Jenny's ice cream. You stand in one of the lines and then you come around and then you're on stage. You know what I mean? That's how you should act. You should be like, okay, I'm in the green room. I'm in the green room. I'm in the green room. Oh, I'm on stage. I'll have a Brambleberry crisp. And then I'm done. You know, I'm out of here.
Yeah. Just patiently wait.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I don't have anything. Go ahead.
Oh, what I was going to say, because that was the thing, is people would they'd be in line for everything. They'd come up and be like, so what do you got? As if I was supposed to read the menu off to them, which is right in front of them.
Like you have something in the back. Like you have some special thing in the back. I hate that too. You got any of that in the back? No, we don't keep things in the back.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
Why would we keep stuff in the back? We want you to buy it.
What do you make when you're off the clock?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But what was funny, but unique to this place too, is this was like almost 20 years ago, and I worked there when I was in college and a little bit after college, and like it was kind of like a local, I would say a local kind of chain, and there was a real kind of cult of personality around the guy who started it and who was my boss. And people would always come in and try to like drop his name as if I'm going to give them kind of like some kind of special treatment.
Oh, but you know what though? They give you a little bit of power in that situation though, because you can humiliate them by no selling it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I know Jeff that runs the place, and you're like, oh, really? What did you want to eat? You know, make sure you pay.
Yes.
Like no selling that is so funny.
Yeah.
Yes, and I definitely got a kick out of that. And then one of the things, too, about this place is kind of like their claim to fame was it's the guy who was my boss had invented the concept of basically mixing stuff into ice cream like Cold Stone Creamery.
Okay.
And, like, doing it in front of the customers and making a big show of it.
Okay.
And that was...
singing
that
songs?
was the worst part.
What about singing songs?
What's that?
Singing songs too?
No singing songs,
Okay.
fortunately. No singing songs. I couldn't have. I mean, that would have been just like too far for me.
Right.
But just it sucked because there was a lot of just like being on display, and people would be like, "Look what he's doing! Oh, can you believe this?" Like as if it was like the most amazing thing in the world, like mixing some shit in some ice cream, you know?
Spreading ice cream on a cold block.
Yeah, exactly. And it would just be, and the thing is, the thing was set up, the whole setup of the place too, is because I used to also make the ice cream sometimes, like actually in the machines, and I'd be doing that, and I'd be like right out in the open, and people go, look what that, look what he's doing, you know? And I'm the kind of person I kind of like to lay low and not attract attention to myself, so always feeling like I was on display was like very uncomfortable.
Yeah, well, you know, there's also Ohio is really big into ice cream places like Dairy Queen and like lots of mom and pop and local Dairy Queens wherever you drive on like some long strip of road. But they are supposed to be like this magical place where old people can come and like bubbly teenagers and college students, you know, will serve them happily, you know, and do a bang up job while they're at it, you know. Like it's supposed to be this fantasy land for people.
It is. It's supposed to feel like the sock hop.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're going to go there. We're going to see some teenagers fucking in poodle skirts and stuff. Meanwhile, the teenagers are listening to music that talk about sucking ding dongs and stuff like that. And
doing opiates.
Yeah, doing opiates and sucking ding dongs. They're fucking scared of them and they want to get out of there as quickly as possible.
They're sagging their drawers.
Well, that's really... Because we actually had satellite, this was like early 2000s, but I guess like satellite radio must have been around then. Because we had this satellite station which was just like pipe in music, and the boss specifically was like, only play the 50s station, you know, like that kind of music.
Oh, God.
When he wasn't around, we would just play whatever. And I remember distinctly playing the song "Heroin" by the Velvet Underground on a CD once. So that wasn't really in the spirit of the of what he was going for.
While customers were in there?
It probably was like late at night.
Okay.
It was probably towards the end of the show.
It would be fucking. Yeah. I would go nuts to Velvet Underground at a.
Like this place is magical. The teens are having fun.
Another thing too is that you guys talked about during the pickle thing was when you be trying to close and you get those assholes who come in at the last minute, or the people that you're trying to kind of like, you know, you start pretty much putting up all the chairs and tables and shutting the lights off and everything, and they just don't get it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, I don't think people understand that a place has to close. I think that's where the problem is. They think you just shut the door and leave.
Yeah.
That is what they think. That you finish up, you lock the door, you take off, and you're out of there. but it is like the final 15 minutes, the final half hour of them being open is to accommodate the people that got there before the half hour that they're open.
Yeah,
is the way that it works.
Exactly.
It's not for new people.
Man.
No new people.
Exactly. And that's like you guys said, I think it's one of those things, because I've worked a lot of food service jobs, and that's definitely one of those things, like maybe just some people who haven't worked them just don't really take that into account, but it's like, yeah, you gotta
and then
I mean, there's
also it goes both ways on that. I mean, I know a lot of horrible Republicans that have been servers and stuff. They just think that everybody, it's like they've had customers come in at 9:55 and they had to serve them, and they think everybody else should have to do it.
Oh God, yeah. See, the thing is, I'm already very good to people who are service people, especially food service people, but especially ice cream. When I go out for ice cream, I'm especially very understanding to them, and tip especially well. And I almost want to say to them, I understand what it's like, but they would probably think it's weird that some middle-aged guy is saying that to them. Yeah. But anyway, one last thing is, so I ended up getting fired from there for not being cheerful enough eventually.
Jesus.
So that's how
you're mixing ice cream. Come on, pep up. Come on. There's nothing to frown about. You're mixing ice cream. You're making dreams happen.
Yeah, it was funny though, because what had happened was, by the time I was there, I was I had been there long enough to become a manager, and there was somebody else who was a manager, and we kind of had this little rivalry going on, and I think we were getting paid too much money, and he couldn't keep both of us. So I think he used my kind of salty attitude as a pretext to get rid of me. But
sure.
it was definitely it was a experience, and so I just felt like I had to call in and share that, and it felt good to get it off my chest.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for calling. We love to hear that stuff.
All right, man. Take care, guys.
Have a good one.
Take care. Have a good night. So he was getting a Brett Payne treatment there.
What?
A kid was yelling at him.
Oh yeah. Excuse me, Dad. Yeah, I don't know. I don't care what you're doing.
Couldn't care less what you're doing right now. I need to speak to you, and it's the most important thing that's ever happened to me.
Yeah.
It's never that important, though.
Oh, it's so hard. Yeah.
Yeah, having a kid is, it's the hardest thing a person can do. It puts you through the ringer.
Yeah. I seriously thought about recording myself, doing like 15 minutes, maybe 5 minutes of just saying okay, like just going okay now.
Yeah, they're not good conversationalists at all.
No,
kids.
No, they're just like meandering like crazy
with nothing. They're not saying nothing ever.
The finale is always like, or I think it was like that. The finale is just real shaky.
I took Gwen drove me today. She got her temps, so we've been letting her drive.
Fun.
She's driven 3 times since she's got them.
Tight.
Had them for over a week.
Okay, that's good though. That's good.
She's always like, "Oh, I'm nervous to drive," and I'm like, "Why don't you drive me to the store?" She's like, "I don't want to drive with you," and I'm like, "Why? I'm not that scared."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was like,
"You've been in the most accidents in the house."
I played it so cool while she was driving that now she's like, I'll drive with you anytime.
Really?
Because I kind of just sat in a seat next to her and was like, yeah, man, if you got to turn, just... She's got some wide turns. We're talking about some fucking real whoppers on those turns. And I'm like...
Take somebody out.
I'm like, you know what you should do is fucking turn more than you think you have to turn.
Right.
So she did that and she was like, wow, that was a really good hint. And I was like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Although it is tough, I gotta say this to parents who may someday teach their kid how to drive or who are getting there. It really is hard. We're not teachers naturally. If you're not a teacher, then knowing how to pass on knowledge is very hard.
Yeah.
And knowing how to pass on the knowledge to drive is as hard as teaching somebody how to walk,
Yeah.
because it is so fucking second nature to you.
Yeah.
Like I was trying to explain, like, this car feels like my body when I'm sitting in that seat. Like, I fucking am acutely aware
Yeah.
of the size of this car, where it goes, how fast it goes when I hit the pedal, what it does, what it sounds like, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I know all that instinctively. And, like, how to pass that knowledge on to somebody else where they're like, I'm afraid to drive on the freeway. And I'm like, driving on a freeway is the easiest driving you can do, really.
Yeah.
You know? It really is the easiest driving you can do. There's no stop signs, no lights, no nothing. You just drive.
Right. The getting on and off, you know, is always,
Purity.
can be nerve wracking. But yeah, I mean, it's a matter of time. It's something that you can't really teach. You just got to try it a whole bunch.
Yeah. That's what I've been telling her. It's just like she just doesn't want to drive on any roads with any cars. And I just keep saying, like, dude, you live downtown. You live in downtown of a city. Like, everywhere you drive is always going to have cars. So you might as well just be used to driving around cars, because they're always going to fucking be there for your whole entire life. Every day of your life. You're never going to get a time, unless you only drive on Christmas, where there's not people out driving. You know? My neighbors are going off lately.
Partying?
Well, they did party last week, but now they just fight every day.
Oh, no.
There's yelling.
Oh, no.
Every day now.
Hollering.
The police, like,
no.
cruising around, like, all kind of hollering. And then this guy next door to me, who listeners of the POD cast might know as the guy who his office is across from my office. And we stare each other in the eyes while I record. And I record the podcast at midnight, the POD cast at midnight, pretty much every time. And he's up doing work too. And we're just sitting across from each other like, hey, you know.
There's no shades drawn or
both
curtains?
work. I keep the curtains open because the vent, it's a small room, and if the vent's open, the heat just fucking floods in the room, and I'll pop the window open a little bit to get some cool air in there, and we're just kind of sitting across from each other. And I'm like, you know, when I work at home, I work at between midnight and 3 in the morning, and I am like really afraid this guy's gonna go in there and JO. I am like absolutely terrified.
Well, he's gonna know you're there.
I don't know if he sees me, but I do
Really?
think he did see me once walk in there in my underwears, which is really humiliating
Well, that
to me.
happens.
Well, the windows, yeah.
I used to live my old place. I lived real close in the windows, and there would be lots of times where you just have to like, woo, just jump across. And I see them jump across too.
So
just a flash of lingerie or nudery.
As far as I could tell, this guy's a young man.
Okay.
20s.
Okay.
Nobody else lives there. Single.
Wow, successful.
Probably never even had people over that I can think of.
Yeah.
He goes out and gets in his car and plays music really loud.
Cool.
And just lets it run at all hours of any time. I have heard him doing it when I get home from doing this call-in show. He's been sitting out in his car just cranking music, car running.
Really?
And I am just everything in me is trying to figure it out. Like it's the most curious.
That's his
I've been in quite a long time.
And closet. That's like his go away.
It might be the pandemic, but it might be the pandemic for me that I am just all the time thinking like, can't he listen to the music inside the house? Why is he in the car? Why is the car running? Why is he not in his home enjoying music?
Car music sounds good, man. If you don't have a good setup at home, the car hits hard. It's such a confined space. I love listening to music in the car.
I do too, I guess. It's just a very odd thing to do. You got to admit that it's like, what are you doing out there, dude? What's going on out there? What's the reason behind this? I'm so into his shit. I don't even look. The only time I've ever looked him in the face is when we're both working at the same time.
Yeah.
And I've never looked at him outside. I didn't even know what he looked like until recently. But man, I'm fascinated with this car thing.
right.
I can't stop thinking about it.
Okay, well, we'll get into more of that later.
Okay.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, fellas, what's up?
Howdy.
Hey.
Dell from North Carolina.
Can you believe this guy in his car? Now asking all the callers. No, I can hear you. I just said, can you believe this guy in his car? My neighbor that we were just talking about.
Oh, dude. So actually funny. It makes me think of Mike Hale from Your Kickstarter Sucks.
Yep.
Oh, yep.
He talks about his neighbor that leaves like the fucking Rolling Stones on all the time. Just like pulls up outside of his house and just blasts the Rolling Stones.
Yeah. Oh my God, Mike has. I've heard him tell that
Yeah,
story.
I've heard it too. I was thinking that's who I was thinking of as well.
I gotta text Mike and be like, let's find out why this guy does. This guy shuts his doors though. Everything's shut. No windows open.
Is he hotboxing or something?
I don't think so, dude. I think he's a
just having
fitness
moment,
guy,
man. Like
I
he's
guess.
just, he's like in his temple.
It just feels like you should be able to do anything you want when you live alone inside your place.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you shouldn't have to escape.
It's boring though, man.
Okay.
You need a lot of. I don't know. I don't think a couple rooms is enough sometimes.
Okay.
Maybe I don't know.
I'm just.
You gotta switch it up sometimes.
I have places to go to. I don't know. I might be going in my. Well, I guess if I lived alone, though, you're right. That's what you're saying.
It's alone.
Yeah, you would. I guess I would have. I would have a room in the house that replicated the car experience.
Yeah.
I would just make like a sound room.
This is how bad things have gotten. Pandemic I would never notice another human being is alive before the pandemic, and now it's like
yeah, teaches us all about compassion.
And now it's like we're this many months into it, and I'm like eagle eye nosy neighbor now. We're like, what's this guy? I'm gonna knock on the window if I see him tonight.
Okay.
Hey, tap tap tap. What are you doing in there?
You smoking loud?
What goes on in there?
You should join him.
Just sit in the passenger seat.
Hold on, wait till you hear this shit. What are you crying? Are you crying right now?
Can I? Yeah.
I used to sit in my friend's car and listen to loud music. Though we used to do that. He had like a system. This guy, it just sounds like regular car stuff. But what's going on tonight?
So I've been having a crazy ass Christmas season, guys.
Okay, those are fun.
Do you know what Buc-ee's is? The gas station company?
Love Buc-ee's.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Buc-ee's. I live in a town with like less than 1,000 people, and this town sits on the side of the I-85/40 corridor in North Carolina.
Okay.
And Buc-ee's is trying to come into my town and build the world's largest gas station on a protected watershed that supplies 7.3 thousand residents with clean drinking water.
What the?
Oh, Buc-ee's. Now Buc-ee's is bad. I think
I'm gonna have to put X's on all my Buc-ee's. My Buc-ee's fanny pack, my tie-dye Buc-ee's sweatshirt. It's all going to the waste bin.
So I'm one of the lead organizers in a group called A Voice for Eflin and Orange, and we have been working our asses off trying to get we sit in Orange County, and like this is going to affect all of Orange County, and like we're trying to mobilize people, and basically like no one knew about it because like I live 2 miles away from the development zone, and I wasn't even allowed to join the community information meeting about Buc-ee's.
Imagine
because if you did,
I just want to say I think it's wild to go to a protected waterway and say I want to build the world's largest gas station. It seems like the least important thing.
Yeah, like let me put this into perspective for you. In a 10-mile radius, okay, there's over 20 gas stations with over 200 gas nozzles, and that's not including diesel. This gas station will have 120 gas nozzles.
Will never get used. They'll never get used either. That's not a fucking thing.
Exactly. That will never be used. It also will be shutting. The road I live on is going to be terminated, which means that it like goes out to this connector, and then it's how trucks access into the town beside Eflin, and that's going to be impossible for truckers to use. They're also going to permanently shut down an exit in Eflin, like one of the main exits where like all these small businesses sit, that are going to just like totally be fucking destroyed.
God damn.
Like there's a local gas station that literally never has a fucking line outside of it. And they're going to go out of business because like Buc-ee's has been sued so many times for going for like predatory pricing. Like what they do is they go into like these small towns, they build their gargantuan fucking gas stations, and then they like drop their prices super low, you know, so they put all the gas stations around them out of business, and then they just rack them back up to market price once they've put everyone else out of business.
Oh, Buc-ee's,
also been
no.
sued. They've literally been sued for indentured servitude by a Texas court.
Whoa, that's outrageous.
All I really saw was that they have beef jerky there. That was like the big thing when I went there.
So like there's all these people, like there's definitely more people against this than for this. But the people that are for this are like, I mean, they're who you would assume would be like parading like the world's largest gas station. But they're always like, but you know, they got super clean bathrooms and they're going to have a wall of jerky. And it's like, dude, it's a fucking watershed that is going to like create a traffic crisis in this small town. And like, they have a lower rating than Amazon and Walmart on like employee review sites.
I had no idea Buc-ee's.
Really, like
I went to a Buc-ee's when we were on tour in Texas, and I gotta say, not that impressed. I mean, here's the thing: I've gone by a Sheetz that I think probably had 50 pumps, and I've never seen one that had even half of the pumps full. It just isn't something there's no need to have 250 gas pumps ever. There's none. I can't imagine it.
And so like they're like acting like this is going to be like Eflin needs jobs and Orange County needs jobs. And what they don't mention is that like these jobs are like, yes, they pay $15 an hour, but also like they are 10-hour shifts with no breaks. They call their lunch breaks, quote, lunch moments.
Oh,
where you have to be working and you can't sit down ever.
Whoa.
There's no employee discounts, and people have been fired for showing up like 1 minute late to work because they got in a wreck or some shit.
Holy shit, Buc-ee's, you're evil. That lunch moment,
Yeah, dude.
I gotta read into that. I never heard of nothing like that.
It's nuts because like I'm a musician and I was actually on a cross country tour to California in March, and then Disney World closed, and that's when I knew shit was getting real. So I moved back here, and my life has been consumed with this fucking gas station.
Well, that's fun. Something to do. It's a righteous fight. It's a righteous, just cause.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I'm it's just funny that it's even a conversation. Like Orange County says that they're like the most progressive county in the state. It's been a blue county for years, and like the Orange County Board of Commissioners has made all these promises to like reduce carbon emissions by 100% by 2050. And it's like, if you're going to say all of that, then like, what are you even talking about with this gas station? Like, why is this even a discussion,
Jesus, I'm reading the Glassdoor now. You have me on Bucky's Glassdoor, Brett. It is. It says 5-minute breaks in an 8-hour shift. No breaks. These are the cons. No breaks. Only 5-minute moment to snack on something. Only one short 10-minute break and no lunch in an 8-hour day. No break. Sometimes you get 8 minutes to eat, and no sitting at all during your 8-hour shift.
Ugh. No sitting at all.
Yeah.
Bucky's seems bad.
No.
Bucky's does not seem like a place you'd want.
Hell no. And there's like reviews that say, some of the reviews are like, yeah, there's like notes on the back of the registers that say, remember who pays you.
What? It's me, Bucky.
Yes.
Get to work.
Bucky's evil, man. Woo, buddy. Disrespect. Yeah,
And,
I'm looking
Bucky
at this
doesn't
as
put up with
crazy.
fuckery.
Yeah, so we have a petition that has like, let me check. We've got like 5,200 signatures right now.
Cool.
And if you go to www.voice4eflin.com, you can find out literally everything. We have all our information is cited from either Bucky's or the county.
Okay.
And so, like, there's some real insidious stuff going on with the county planning department. So Mebane is the town right beside Eflin that it sits in Alamance County. That's right beside Orange County. And the largest development plan ever for this area was drawn up by the Orange County planning director. And he didn't take it to the Orange County, Board of Commissioners, even though 3/4 of the development sits in Orange County. He went to Mebane City Council.
Okay.
And Mebane City Council was like, are you out of your fucking mind? Like, go away. Like, go back. Go talk to Orange County. And so, like, that's who's, like, basically shoving Bucky's down the pipe here. And it's getting to be a massive ordeal. And like, if it happens, like it will straight up ruin. I mean, like, this is my hometown. I live right on the Eno River, which feeds into the Neuse River Basin.
Sounds magical.
And like, yeah, and there's been no environmental studies done. There's been no economic studies done. The only traffic study that's been done has been done by Bucky's.
Holy shit.
So it's just, yeah, so we had, there was another massive development in Orange County, and they raised I think we've raised $4,000, and they raised $25,000,
Okay.
and they only got 48 people to speak, but we got 111 people to speak. So they're having to push the hearing on this back to 4 separate meetings.
Nice.
3 of which is just on public comment. So Bucky's is not happy.
No, I would
great.
imagine not. Keep making them mad. This sounds, I mean, I didn't know Bucky's was this bad. I mean, you look at if you go to Glassdoor and you look at a lot of people they will approve of the CEO of the company even if they don't recommend it to a friend. And this place, they have a 2.9 stars on Glassdoor, and 42% approve of the CEO, and 48% would recommend to a friend. It's this is one of the worst ratings I think I've ever seen. It's that's
Yeah,
wild.
how do you do worse than Jeff Bezos?
Yeah, this is worse. This is for sure worse than Amazon, because we looked at a lot of these for the TV show, and these are some of the worst stuff I've ever seen. So
Yeah, we might slide Bucky's in if we can.
yeah, I'm looking for the spreadsheet right now.
Do it.
Well, thanks for calling.
There's a ton of just real quick. There's a ton of different websites about their employee reviews, and one of them is Simply Hired, and it says, "What tips or advice would you give to someone interviewing at Bucky's?" And the 2 comments are, quote, "Get out as soon as possible unless you enjoy being treated like garbage." And the other is, quote, "Run like as fast as you can. They're all criminals.
God damn. God,
This sounds brutal. I mean, I'm putting this in the TV plan actually right now, so we don't forget about it.
Right.
That's sick. Well, I appreciate you guys. If anyone wants to find out more, they can go to www.voice4Efland. That's EFLAND. And we have if you click on Take Action, you can find out how to get involved, sign our petition, do all sorts of good stuff like that. Because, you know, I mean, it's funny too, because we have support. Like we're not like a political organization. I mean, I'm definitely far left of everyone else that's working in this organization, but like we literally have Trump supporters that are like, yeah, this is bullshit. Like, fuck Buc-ee's.
Yeah, that's good.
So it's kind of a cool moment. It sucks that it came out of some really bad shit happening, but
right. But
yeah,
still, I mean, you know, it has to be done, and a good way to figure out, you know, maybe, you know, what can be done after this, or what kind of other things you have in common that they can get behind as far as like workers' rights go and stuff. Who knows?
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's a moment for like kind of realizing and relating on a class struggle basis. For sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you tell people that they give you a lunch moment, they're going to be like, that's bullshit.
Fuck that.
Yeah, I don't know anybody who would be okay with that.
Yeah, exactly. And they've been like really bad about COVID too. There's like a bunch of articles and videos of Buc-ee's during COVID, and it's not looking too good.
Oh, man, this place. The no sitting thing is wild.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah. Well, thanks for calling in.
Yeah, thank you guys. Love what you do.
Thank you. Have a good
too.
night. This Buc-ee's,
Yeah,
I'm fascinated now
I
with
know,
this
I can't
place.
believe it.
I know. I'm just so let down by
Such
Buc-ee's.
a magical
I
place.
was told
that
I had to
runs
go.
on suffering.
Yeah,
That little beaver is grinding people up into bones.
I know that beaver looks mean to me now.
Yeah,
like I'm looking
sinister.
at the beaver and now I'm like, he looks mean.
Yeah, beavers use those teeth to bite.
Yeah.
To tear flesh from the bone.
He looks like he's coming to get me. Fuck that beaver. Yeah, we went there. We went there when we were touring in Texas because everybody said, y'all go to Buc-ee's? Y'all go to Buc-ee's? Y'all go to Buc-ee's? So I was like, we got to go to this Buc-ee's.
Right.
And we stopped there. And, you know, I just got a drink and
It was
got
great.
back in the
It
car.
was better than Flying J or Pilot. It had a lot of interesting places to just walk around. Lots of dumb shit to look at, you know?
Yeah, you just didn't know it was evil. You know
No,
what I
didn't
mean?
know it was
You're in there
run
and you're
that
like,
way.
they're grinding their employees to a nub. But
a
you're
beaver
like,
will
oh, a
bite
wall
you.
of jerky, I guess.
Yeah, they make a beaver like bite you or nip you if you sit down.
They probably have employee jerky, like the jerky's made out of some of the old
Yes,
used
some of the-
employees.
yeah. Yeah, you're jerky now. Bucky says you're jerky. You're out of here. Throw him in the grinder. All right, one more. Then we'll go on break, Rooney. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, this is Connor. I'm calling from Philadelphia.
What's up, Connor?
What's up, Connor? How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you guys doing?
We're okay. What's up tonight?
So I do have a Christmas bonus story, but I'm gonna save that for the end because I have like a shitty work story that would go well with it.
Okay.
So the company I work for is like a recruiting agency. I work at a place through a recruiting agency, and my recruiter called me the other day. He was like, hey, man, I'm just calling to let you know, like, I don't know if any of your coworkers have been, like, talking about compensation with you, but, like, if you do that, it's, like, a breach of your contract, and we can, like, fire you. Just don't talk about how much you're getting paid for coworkers, okay? And I'm like, what? And I was like, that's illegal, right? And he was like, yeah, well, we're just trying to keep, like, a good atmosphere and keep everything moving slowly.
Yeah, we do illegal stuff
you
here,
know.
too. We do illegal stuff, too, like this.
Yeah.
We're just rocking and rolling and hanging out, not talking about our pay at all. It's great in here.
Yeah, it's nutty.
If you want to, here's the thing.
And,
You want to talk to your fellow employees, you talk to me, I relay the message to them. I'm the intermediary for the communication for everybody here.
Nothing kills the vibe. The vibe is just dead when we start talking about how much we make. Because then people start comparing it. You don't want that.
Yeah, people
Come
wondering
on.
if they're start valuing themselms more.
Yeah, jeez.
Then the company will go down.
We got pool table here. You ever see the pool table? You don't work for a
It's all
pool
about the
table?
grind.
Yeah. You don't work for a pool table company, do you?
No, I don't.
Oh, so they're evil and they don't give you the like a beer fridge so you can have exactly one beer while you're at work.
Yep. One cerveza.
It's all about the company atmosphere.
Yeah.
But I ended up talking to my coworkers about how much we're making, and I found out incidentally I'm making like $2 less than everybody else.
There we go.
Fuck.
And
Bummer. You're such a bummer. Why are you being such a bummer bringing that up?
well, listen to this. So for the Christmas bonus this year, we got an email, and it was like, all right, we really appreciate you guys for all the effort you've been putting through in these trying and unusual times. So treat yourself to a meal on us. Here's a $10 gift card for the restaurant of your choice.
Okay.
Well, it's the restaurant of your choice, but yeah, you can't get Burger King for $10 now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
10 is a little skimpy.
Yeah. The restaurant of your choice. The restaurant of my choice doesn't have anything for $10. The rest.
Yeah, so
Go ahead.
So I guess I kind of just want to close it out. I just have a question or need some advice. Like, how do you ask for a raise? Like, I've never negotiated a raise, and I feel like that's probably something that other street fighters would find useful to like know how to do and negotiate that with your boss.
Okay.
Do you have any advice about that?
Here's the thing. I'm terrified to do it. Like I got to tell you that you're already braver than me by talking about money with the other employees. Because when the boss would have told me that, I did do that a few times. Like, tell people what I make and ask them what they make. And one guy did end up getting a raise out of that, but you were specifically told not to do that, so it might be different. I've never asked for a raise in my life. I've always felt like I just felt like that I was so beat down, I guess, by the environment of the jobs and the work, the way work happens in the United States. I was so like kind of beat down by that I saw asking for a raise as unfair in a weird way. And I just never did it. I would sweat. My palms would start sweating immediately if I thought about asking for a raise. But Brett might have some.
I would say
That's where I'm at.
the first advice is, do you feel like you deserve it? I mean, you have to believe it if you go in there, that you've been doing your job and you've been doing what they want. How long have you been there?
A few months now.
Okay.
Our contract just got extended into June. So I'm a contractor, so it's not even like real employment. But so our contract just got extended, and I think a bunch of other people did successfully negotiate raises.
Okay. So then what you need to do is you need to look at everything that you've ever done as like a win or a success. People want you to get things done. So you need to just go in there and say, hey, I know it's time to renew contracts again. This is our third contract or second contract we're doing. The other ones that I've worked on, I was successful in this way. Just explain like a couple ways that you were successful and that you got things done for them. Those moments, if that you got things done, just remind them and say, I think I provide, a level of service now that's $2 more than what I'm making. Something like that.
And I think just from my side, like hearing that other people make the $2 more if you have the same level, of work, it seems like they're just willing to give everybody $2 more. It
Yeah.
seems like that. It seems like
It's a code you have to unlock. It's you have to. It's a hack. You have to ask for it. They don't really care. They honestly probably don't care who you are. They want to pay you the least amount possible, but you now know they're willing to pay $2 more.
I mean,
and you do the thing that they pay $2 more for everybody else. So you're worth it at this point. You just have to show that.
I think the reason you probably make less is because you asked for less when you got the job. Because that's been my experience. Is like when I worked as a roofer, the guy that me and this friend of mine both got hired at the same time, he was making $10 an hour and I was making $9 an hour because I asked for $9 an hour and he asked for $10 an hour. It was sort of the same thing at a few other jobs where it was like the cable company started at $10 an hour, but I asked for $9.50 because I didn't have any experience, and they hired me on at $9.50. Like,
go gladly.
Yeah. So like, it probably doesn't come down to your work at all. It probably really comes down to you ask for less than those other people asked for when you originally got the job, and that might bolster your case even.
Yeah, and also, you just want to show you're confident and you're confident that what you're doing is worthy of it, and just say it and let them decide. And then if they say no or whatever, but this seems like a pretty simple one.
Then they can say no. I mean,
they can say it's not in the budget, and you just say, okay, I respect that. And the next time you keep asking, and you just let them know, I'm going to keep asking for $2 every time I work with you, or, I guess.
Yeah, I'll tell you a little story from this week. I was having like a ton of panic attacks. I was like really flipping out a lot. And I couldn't figure out how to end them. But I knew that I really wanted to get off of one of my medications. And on Friday, I called my psych doctor and said, I want to get off this medication. And I just left a message. Didn't even talk to anybody. And when I hung up the phone, I felt better. 100%. I was just completely even keeled. It was the best I'd felt in 2 weeks. And like all it took was asking the question to bring me back from the ledge. Like I was really having a tough time. And I think that like you might be nervous about this. You might be nervous to ask for a raise. But I think when you walk out of the office, no matter what the answer is, you're going to be like, I asked for a fucking raise, And then the next time you do it, it'll be easier to do because you know that you can do it. And if somebody says no, they just say no. They're not going to think about it a week later. You know, they might think about it for a week. Like, oh, I can't believe he asked for a raise. Right. But like after a week, they're just going to be like, whatever, he asked for a raise.
It's like asking somebody out. You do just have to do it and try, and you might foolishly do something, and it's just a really funny story to tell your friends later on. That's how it's going to be. But my wife is a very good negotiator, and she always just has bullet points. She just has a prepared thing. You don't have to let them tell you, listen to whatever they say. You go in there and you lay out your case on why you think you deserve it, and then ask for it. Tell them you can wait, a week or something, or whoever they need to talk to, you understand, but you want to start that process.
Yeah, I think you can do it.
Yeah, I think you got this one.
Thank you. I think so too. It's definitely appreciate the counsel.
And that's a crummy Christmas bonus, I gotta tell you. You got a high level crummy Christmas bonus. $10 gift certificate to a restaurant of your choice.
Oh no, but they didn't know. No, they said they're going to buy him a meal. They said they were going to buy you a meal, and it turned out to be a $10 gift card.
Yeah, that's a crummy one.
Yeah,
that's a real crummy one, I think. Thanks for calling. Have a good night.
Yeah, thank you.
Break time.
Take it easy, guys.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I think if I was going to have a real just fun meal, when we went to Fat Burger in LA, they had a vegan milkshake that was $9, and that's not a meal, that's what I would want with like a hamburger and fries and everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, so $10. I mean, what is that? That's like
the
down
cheeseburger.
payment. That's a down payment on the meal, I guess.
Yeah, when you get Shake Shack, the cheeseburger is $10, and then the next part,
right,
the sides and the drink actually also cost money,
right?
You know, and that's a cheap place,
right? No, we're talking fast food. I mean, yeah, I'm talking greasy just burger down the road.
Yeah,
like you said, Burger King, man. If you're getting Impossible Whoppers, they're $7.95.
Yep. Yeah, you can't get a $10 meal anywhere, them lying motherfuckers.
Yikes. All right, well, this week we have some music for you coming from the future will be confusing. Well, ain't that the truth? They wrote in, said, I know Brett likes music. I do. If you wouldn't mind listening to Oscura Remix or something, and if you don't hate it, follow me. I think I did follow you. I know you must get this a lot. It would mean a lot to me, and this is some side project. Well, give us your best, okay? But I like what you do, and validation from you would warm my heart and all that silly stuff. Take care, guys. Glad you're escaping the normal soul-crushing economy. Thank you. I really appreciate it sending in. Future will be confusing. We'll let the listeners decide what they think. Let us know in the chat, and we'll be back. We're Street Fight call-in show. We're going to get to you if you're on the queue. We got enough time.
Do your thing.
To broadcast that stupid spy shit all over town, and we picked it up and we practiced in a day. A day! You think we're so smart, but a couple of kids can set your coke in a day, and now
thinking through fingers, feeling dimming headlights, looking for a cheap thrill. Baby girl picking thorns through the daffodils. I loved you all my life, don't fall asleep without me tonight. They stole the wings from your shoulders. Flex your arms, rest your muscles on my honor. Now we creep through streets every night, through the windows, leaning out the side. Ride the roller coaster, we don't hold back. Hide our face, cause people, they can't handle that.
Well, as NSA leaker Edward Snowden remains at a Moscow airport, Army whistleblower Bradley Manning is on trial, and WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange is holed up in the Ecuadorian embassy in London. Today we look at the strange story of another man tied to the world of cyber activism. He faces over 100 years in prison. His name is Barrett Brown. He's an investigative reporter with ties to the hacking collective Anonymous.
when I first met you, I thought I'd forget you. Now when I wake up, I rise for the sake of a boy who belongs in a song.
have stolen my girl. They whisked her away in a black limousine, and that was the last of her I'd ever seen. 'Cause I knew that her heart was the purest of pure. Through unbearable suffering she would endure, when she told of the lies and the hatred they spread, and how blood of blind children was used in their bread. So she opened her mouth to the cold lizard tongue that was speaking in code of the work to be done, to make sure that the truthful are made to look mad, and the starving fed ashes for which they are glad. 'Cause her brain was a camera, they just had to look, and they sensed she was wise from the pictures she took, which were not unlike anything you've ever seen. And that
Back. Hey, we're back. Thank you for listening to Street Fight Radio. This is the call-in show. We have had a wonderful show so far. Lots of wonderful people called in with good stories. Thank you for fighting the good fight. Street fighting, man. We fucking appreciate it. It's wild. Guys, gals, non-binary pals, thanks for tuning in. We want to hear from all of you and what's going on with your work situations, the bonuses this year, how things are working out. That was The Future Will Be Confusing, which was great. Very interesting. You know, Jeff Mangum, Eat Your Heart Out. Definitely very artistic and wonderful sounds and music. Good stuff. I liked it.
Gwen's doing a report on the 33 and a third book about in the aeroplane over the sea.
Interesting. Okay. Well, that's a good idea.
She needed a short nonfiction book, and I said, I can help you with that. And we sat down, and I said, what about this? You probably like this.
Yeah.
I tried to get her to meet me in the bathroom because there's a bunch of bands she likes.
Right. But it's too long.
She said it's too long.
Yeah.
600 pages. But it's an oral history, so it's like one of those.
Still intimidating sometimes, I guess.
Yeah,
I like them though. Yeah, I've read a lot of them.
Those oral histories are great. The music oral histories are fucking excellent.
Yeah.
I love reading that shit. All right, let's get these calls.
Let's get
this bread.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
This is Jack Nancy calling from Montana.
Oh,
big fan. Love you guys. You put some of my writing in the alcohol zine, and I really appreciate it, and I appreciate this community.
Thanks for doing it. Montana.
Yeah, man. I have a couple quick things to go through, and I want to go through them fast so other people can call in. The first one is, Brian, you're cracking me up earlier. Both of you are cracking me up earlier about the difference between being angry and being sensitive. And I'm a person who grew up getting in a lot of fist fights with other boys, and I always find that like the most passionately I'd throw a punch at someone, I'd also simultaneously be crying. And I too am a person who needs to go on walks and is constantly trying to get out of panic attacks. And I think that really made me laugh.
Good.
I've been wanting to call in for a while because a couple months ago, you guys, Brian, you brought up working at Chuck E. Cheese and getting that weird fucking info training. And I worked at a Safeway, or what was a Safeway here in Montana many years ago, and went through a similar kind of training on. They put me in like the closet in the back of the store with like all the bleach and the chemicals that I had to clean. Once I was trained, I would have to clean the floors with. And they put me on this old ass computer, and it was like, I think like 12 hours a day for like 3 days.
Fuck.
That I had to, do this insane training that was just like on this computer it was like driver's ed type shit. And it's all, like it seemed like the whole lesson was just like how to racially profile people. But anyway, I've been wanting to bring that up with you guys because it like that shit's so prevalent, and I've been lucky enough to work in bars and restaurants since then. I got my ass fired for sleeping through a shift.
That happens, you can't.
It's natural.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, people get tired. What the hell?
Yeah, man. It's like, I'm sorry. My shift on offer was 12 a.m. to 12 a.m. to 12 p.m. That's a shitty shift.
Wow.
That is the whole entire. They took a whole day away from you, like just the whole thing.
Yeah. What do you do in between?
Yeah, I always wonder. Like, I always remember those shifts where it was like, I'm coming in here at 11 o'clock in the morning. Like, I remember at Chuck E. Cheese, we had to do 11 to 8 shifts and on the weekends. And it was like the only 8-hour days I worked. And I just remember being like, it's the morning when I get here and it's the night when I leave here. Like, I miss a whole period of the day. Right. And then tomorrow I have to come here in the morning again.
Right.
Right. There's like and I am lucky. I'm in school now. I got lucky enough to have a good boss that got me on unemployment from a state I'm not going to mention that I'm not living in anymore. But it's shocking to me that like it felt more like egalitarian to have like 4 a.m. bartender hours than the ones that I found at like working for a corporation. Which just make me laugh. And the other, sorry, you go ahead.
Yeah, we've talked about that with the small business tyrant thing sometimes, where it's like sometimes working for a small business suits people a little better than working for a big company. I think it's like different types of people work for these places, where it's like, if you can work till 4 a.m. and you don't mind dealing with the person who owns the place, then by all means, that sounds great. I'm a big corporation guy. I found it easier to work at big corporations.
Yeah, which is totally fair, man. I think it kind of goes both ways. I mean, it's like the joke I make to myself. It's like people are like, a lot of people who maybe do other stuff than maybe haven't had a relationship to the service industry like I have, are like, oh my God, like how do you count money at 5 a.m? It's like, I don't know, fucking like Safeway never closes. At least the bar closes.
Yeah. Yeah, there's going to be some time when you're not at work.
Yeah. But so the part, I'll let you guys go in a sec, but part of why I got the energy and the timing worked out to call in was because you mentioned you guys I think on your show on Wednesday, we're talking about drug tests, and I was listening to that today, and that same Safeway job I applied to, and I met someone who also worked at that Safeway, and I was 18, and I needed a job in town because I took out fucking massive student loans for the college that I ended up dropping out of, ironically, but I failed the drug test, and I guess the person who was probably like the HR, this very kind woman, I hope she's doing well, like looked at my failed drug test and just was like, what's your deal? And I was like, look, like I've smoked a lot of weed in my life. I smoked weed like 2 weeks ago. And she's like, okay. And just like scrubbed it and like put into the computer that I passed the drug test.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like a really a moment that like a true beautiful moment of solidarity from a fellow working person, and I thought that was, you reminded me of that moment in my life, and I always think of that person. I'll let you guys go.
Go ahead.
What'd you say?
I said, what's your deal?
Yeah, what's your deal, man?
What's your deal? You a problem? What are you doing?
How much you like drugs?
You doing illegal fighting or anything? You running guns?
No. These days I'm mostly just hanging out, trying to become a teacher so I can teach English in public high schools because you need a fucking degree to do that.
Nice.
And hanging out in the great state of Montana, it's a really good place.
Awesome.
The only plug I would plug is like whatever is rad, whatever like movement of solidarity is going on in any listener's hometown, because that's the most important shit in my opinion.
Yeah, hell yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. You guys rock.
You have a good night.
And thanks for publishing some of my writing, then. Appreciate it.
No problem. Have a good night.
Have a good one. Peace.
You too.
All right.
What's your deal?
What's your deal?
Hey.
What's your deal,
You
Bucko?
do drugs? What's your fucking deal, dude?
You're like what?
Are you going to be high all the time here? Is that the thing?
You're a high guy? Is that what it
Yeah,
is?
you're a guy that gets high?
How
Is that
often?
what happens?
How
with
often?
hosing?
How bad's your habit?
Yeah.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, Brett and Brian, it's Adam calling from the Bronx. How you guys doing?
Great. How are you, Adam?
Good. Don't have a holiday bonus story from this year as such. I'll come back to past holiday work stories in a moment, but I'm a civil public defender in the Bronx. Among other issues that I work with clients on is my organization as part of the right to counsel law in New York City that represents tenants in eviction proceedings. And I think it was the first caller earlier that was calling in from Winston-Salem, was just kind of really got under my skin a little bit about the landlord, like seeing him on the local news.
Yeah.
Obviously, I can't give legal advice about that, but if there are laws that prohibit landlord harassment of tenants, I hope that's something that, if need be, that they avail themselves of. As you guys may know, we're pushing for not only a continued moratorium on evictions, although that has been lifted and there have been some evictions that have been carried out here, but to get the legislature to enact real rent relief, a real rent forgiveness program. There was this joke of a thing that folks could apply for, and it's basically like all tried and true democratic means tested programs of demonstrating basically that you're meet their strict criteria of hardship, and it's been a complete failure, but we're hoping to get something more significant passed.
Yeah, sounds great.
As far as holidays past, I don't think that I ever had a bonus as such. I'm a little bit late to the game, kind of joining your guys' program. No, I never got a ham. I'm in New York now, as I mentioned, but grew up in Ohio near Youngstown. Do you guys know the Sparkle Market chain? I don't know if they have that as far down as Columbus.
I don't think so. I've never heard of that.
Familiar.
It's like a, like our competitor was like Giant Eagle, if they have that, which was like sort of a bigger conglomerate. But, that was the first job that I had, and it didn't occur to me that in other states with like more protective labor laws that if, for example, that you worked on Sunday, you got time and a half, not $1 extra per hour. So, my first gig was $5.15, and on Sundays you got $6.15. And the holiday thing was that in order to make sure that the shelves were stocked and everything was faced, that you could basically like work an overnight shift for extra money. But there was never any bonus, or it was like kind of a franchise thing. And the Sparkle that I worked for was owned by these guys who had like comically evil names for grocery store owners: Vincent Fury Jr. and Senior. Senior was like an older guy that used to like drive a golf cart from the office to the store. And Junior was like the large adult fail son.
Get in here, Junior. Hey, Junior, you get your ass in there and you tell them employees what to do. Sorry, Senior. I apologize. It sounds like
those kind of jobs.
It sounds like Buford T. Justice. I get real Buford T. Justice from Vincent Fury Sr. and Vincent Fury Jr. Daddy, the employee's asking for a raise. Ooh.
I think the last caller mentioned like having to do like trainings like in a room like next to chemicals and stuff, but it's just sort of, it was the McSweeney's article on Chuck E. Cheese coupled with what's his guy's name, Bob Farrell, like the pickle principal guy. It just got me sort of reminiscing about all this stuff. But so much crazy stuff that I had to do for those sort of wages, like just, they'd get you illegally to dispose of like fluorescent light bulbs in a dumpster. You're just like inhaling like argon and like carcinogens and stuff like all the while.
Oh yeah. Every company makes you
wild.
Every company makes you illegally get rid of some stuff. I've always had to illegally get rid of something, Hey, go throw those back in the dumpster and then put the trash on top of them. Vincent Sr. sent you back there to do it.
Cover it up real nice.
Hey, cover that stuff up, okay? I'm gonna have Junior come by and check it later. My dumbass son.
I wish I knew how they were doing when I'm back home to visit my mom and my family. We pop in from time to time, but I don't typically see anybody that I recognize.
Yeah, that happens.
That would be great to try to hunt them down. Just make up some story. Tell them that they really affected your life, and see how they take that.
Yeah, that does happen though. One of the famous zine articles that we had was Felix wrote about. He like worked at this he worked at this bar as a bouncer, and he worked his ass off really, and like felt like he had these like lifelong relationships with the people that worked there. And then he moved to New York, and then 6 months later he came back, and he didn't know anybody, and nobody remembered him. It's just like the turnover at those places is so crazy. But
I think he actually got bit on the job.
He did. He got bit in the chest at work by somebody, and nobody even remembered it. Just him. He's the only one that remembered it.
There was a story recently about Chipotle in New York City that got like shut down like way too late, but like due to the like pervasive rat problem, which has only increased during the pandemic because they're like looking for sources of food. It was like, rats like biting into like avocados, so they'd go in the refrigerator and get a case of avocados with these like cartoon size like bites taken out of them, but like employees were getting bit just like running the register, and it all finally shut down when they chewed through like the wiring to the cash machine and like couldn't, take the money to make burritos anymore. But
good God.
Yeah, I saw that article. The employees were like stomping on rats. Like they were having to stomp on rats while they worked. Fucking, I mean, businesses never want to close. I'm looking at a Sparkle on Google Street View right now just to get a look of it. It doesn't look very nice, man. There's no windows. There's like 0 windows on this Sparkle.
There were windows in ours. It was like it was like a little bit in the, I don't like to use these descriptors, but like the more sort of rundown side of town. If you get a chance to look at the mascot, it's this guy named Sparky. He's got on one of those little like white paper hats with like these sort of like pimple face and stuff. He looks like a mascot from the 1950s. That's kind of what Sparkle's deal is.
Okay, yeah. It's like a sock hop joint.
Wonderland. So many sock hop joints.
Yeah.
There's people really just hanging on to the sock hop.
Old people love sock hops, man. They think that was the best time,
Yeah. Saddle shoes. Everybody had saddle shoes. It was simpler times. We didn't have all these Nikes and Air Maxes and Adidases.
Yeah.
Everybody wore saddle shoes.
I must be looking at the side of this Sparkle because I got to tell you, no windows on this building at all. None.
No, that's
That doesn't seem sparkly to me.
Yeah, that seems
dark.
Like a box, like being stuck inside of a prison.
Yeah.
I created my
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Well, thanks for
Wrong
calling in.
show.
Thanks for
I
calling
will
in.
say that, like, I mean, it wasn't fun at the time, but the memories that I have from there are sort of like, just the sort of, I guess, a little bit similar to what you were talking about in the like Chuck E. Cheese thing in terms of the like, you have to do the performative aspect, but when you like get to have your whatever time off in the back room and that just sort of like,
yeah, you work.
It was like
you work with
batter
characters,
darts like in the dairy cooler. Say that again.
Yeah, you work with characters when you work at a place like that. You like the people you work with are funny.
Like both the like lifers and young people, so you can get up to like a lot of trouble. Just like playing games like throwing like eggs into an exhaust fan or a dumpster and stuff like that.
We did that too. Holy shit. We used to sit by the dumpster and there was a rock by the dumpster and we would just pitch eggs at this rock for an hour sometimes. They'd be like, oh, you got to throw away the eggs. And we'd be like, right on. And there'd be an egg. There's like a rock next to the dumpster and we would just sit there winging eggs at that rock. It was so fun,
Good time.
We used to wing at these geese outside of the Chuck E. Cheese. We'd wing tokens at them. But that was bad. That was a bad times for me. Well, thanks for calling in.
Yeah, thanks.
And I hope
keep up the good work.
I hope you get a bonus this year.
Yeah, some sort of bonus.
It's coming in the form of no one's having holiday parties, so they have remunerated us with cash, which is appreciated.
That's nice.
Oh,
hey.
yeah, cash payoff instead of a.
You're like, oh, hopefully next year we can pull. Hopefully this becomes a trend. Well, have a good night.
I'm all for that.
Peace out, Cub Scout.
Yeah, I don't know if my wife has not done a holiday party. I don't think
Mine did.
You know what? They had an in-person one.
Yeah.
She has. She works for a company that's a little more Christian, and is based out of a tiny town, not in the city of Columbus.
Okay.
So I think they're a little bit more like the strength of Christ will protect us.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
they had 3 people get it at their other office.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Katie had one. And, she was sort of like, they just kind of hung out on Zoom and had cocktails.
Yes. Told old war stories.
Yeah.
Remember Dan? Dan the man, we called him? He was the weirdest cafeteria worker.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounded not fun to me. Not fun at all.
She was 90 minutes in, too. She was like, when I got there, was 90 minutes in, and it dragged on for 15 more. And then it was just like, all right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
Uh-huh.
All right. Cool. All right, let's get some more calls in here.
Next call. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Yeah, it's Dave from Seattle.
What's up, Dave? How's it going?
Well, personally, for me, pretty good. But the political situation is pretty fucked up here. They just kicked a bunch of homeless people out of some park. They had a helicopter, a fucking SWAT team, and riot gear, and cops playing dress up, and I guess it was pretty crazy. You know, I couldn't be there. I witnessed one sweep already, and that's pretty horrible. Everybody should witness a homeless camp getting busted up.
Yeah, that shit bums me out when that happens. I've seen it. It's happened here a few times where they just go in and bust it up. I mean, and there's a lot more camps in Columbus now than ever. I know Seattle, that's something that happens because it doesn't get as cold there, even though it's been very cold there this year. But I see a lot more camps around here too, just people with tents up.
Yeah,
in the seams of the city.
We have an eviction ban here, but there's a bunch of holes in it. You know, that you could probably drive a truck through, plus all the harassment. And it's just one particular park that they cleaned out because of some evil owner who owns a lot of apartments. And it's just pretty crazy because I'm kind of involved in the local political scene. I'm a member of the Transit Riders Union and local DSA, so it's just really upsetting. I mean, there's you know, they are building some affordable housing, but not nearly enough.
Yeah. I mean, that's the case in a lot of these cities. Columbus right now is just having a boom. I mean, our housing market is like there's not enough houses for people to buy. It's and people are. There's more and more of these like $2,000 a month condo places popping up. They're connecting more of the city together. Like it's in full blown investment mode in that shit right now. You know, in that mixed use, I read all these goddamn mixed use buildings every single time when they announce how much the building's going to be affordable, and then you see it get whittled away until it's nothing, and then affordable means that you are making $50,000 a year.
Yeah. I mean, they don't understand affordable
like
at all.
Affordable, you should be making like $35,000 a year. It's like, right, that's not affordable to a lot of people. You're excluding a lot of people.
So what usually happens for affordable housing, at least around here, is that the developers will get a variance in the zoning, maybe add a couple of floors, if they add some units, if they add affordable units, and that's just an opportunity for all kinds of fuckery.
Right. It sounds good.
And I'm surprised it's.
Go ahead.
I'm surprised it's kind of happening in Columbus. I grew up in Cincinnati, and there's nothing to stop the sprawl there. Here, you go 30 miles east and you're in the mountains.
Yeah.
And that's going to stop you cold, but that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like a boom town right now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of restaurants are closing, of course, but not for the development stuff. There's a brand new stadium. They're finishing a brand new fucking Crew Stadium that's going to be ready to go next year. They did it in record time, like 2 years or some shit.
Yeah.
I was complaining about Screw the Crew like 2 years ago.
Yeah. There is definitely, this is happening in every city. The sprawl. Every single city is building way more than they would ever have to have. Or I mean, it might not even be that. I mean, we could. But there's a lot of half-empty developments, a lot of half-empty buildings here, So is there anywhere people can go to help out with this? Like, or what?
Well, there's various organizations around town. A lot of there are people that run just, groups of people run mutual aid, but they closed the congregate shelters. and they've had a hell of a time. I don't know what the latest deal on the tiny house villages is, but they were supposed to expand to get more of those, which are really effective. But there's a fight between the tiny house people, Nicholsville, and the Human Services Department, because the Human Services Department wants to control these villages, whereas the best ones are run by the people that live there. They'll have like 20 or 30 tiny houses and a plot of land and a like a bathroom and laundry trailer and, you know, some other structures to eat in. But
okay,
the best I can, from talking to these people, the best we can figure out is the city doesn't like organized poor people.
Yeah, I mean that
that's
makes
true.
sense.
They're like, why do we have to listen to them anyways? We say what goes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what a lot of that state housing ends up being. That's the thing. It's a lot of that state housing, they always want to control it, you know, oh, no drinking here. And it's like, well, I mean, people want to drink, they're adults, they should be allowed to drink, you know.
Yeah, and why would we give them housing? That's they're never solving the problem by giving them somewhere to live, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
It's
absolutely.
cops beating them up until they get the point or die.
Yep. You're right.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And you mentioned the cops. The cops are out of control here, just like Portland.
Yeah, it's definitely up a notch there. You got a very tumultuous situation in here than Columbus does.
Yeah, it's really crazy because, you know, the amount of land is limited and the neighborhoods don't want to upzone. You know, the neighbors throw a fit whenever they try to put apartment buildings in.
Uh-huh.
They'll do all kinds of bullshit and delay. And it's just gotten really bad. I mean, I've lived here since the early 80s and we've had a huge amount of growth. Since the last depression, let's see, we've had 100,000 new jobs approximately, but only 30,000 units of new housing.
Right.
So
yeah, it's I don't understand it properly, but I know that they're fucking up.
Yeah. So I don't have any crazy work stories. Well, I do have. I used to be a bike messenger, so I'll tell you that my crazy work stories. I was a bike messenger for 3 years in the early 90s.
Awesome.
And the company I was working for was really fucked up, and we didn't get paid very much, but it was pretty stupid. But it was good at the time. But,
most jobs are.
It was just this amazing. Huh?
Most jobs are very stupid. I mean, in my experience.
Yeah.
Well, for.
Since then, I have had a real job for the past 25 years, and it's been all right.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I've done day labor. Excuse me.
Oh yeah. Having a real job is nice.
Oh, I just I can just plug the Transit Riders Union here in Seattle. We do a lot of great work. Of course, the Seattle DSA. And, I should say that they're trying to recall our one socialist city council person.
Oh, Kasama.
So if anybody can look up the Shama Solidarity Campaign, she's pretty good. She's great. I don't agree with her all the time, but she certainly pisses everybody off, which is always good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, she's great. I'm a fan.
Okay, good. You know about her. Yeah, she's really great. There's some kind of international Zoom meeting about this on, I think, January 7th. I think Jeremy Corbyn is going to be there. Some people from India. Some gal, I guess, some socialists elected socialists from Kentucky they're trying to get rid of or something. So, yeah, that's it. Just look up the Shama Solidarity Campaign. It's on all who knows what all platforms, all the ones that people hang out on, and support it if you feel like it, or if you're in town, sometimes stop by, do some phone calls. you don't have any money, you can always do phone calls or do what I was doing yesterday, hanging posters.
All right.
Great. Well, yeah, thanks. Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Thank you. Have a good
All
night.
right, you guys got a great show. Take it easy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I did see that Seattle story this week and was like pretty disgusted by it. They were throwing pepper balls at them.
Yeah, someone said it was 150 officers.
Yeah.
That's
to beat up a bunch of homeless people. That's
Right.
great. That's just really fucking great.
Right.
That's what we should be doing.
Yeah, I retweeted somebody. I saw it when somebody tweeted, like, this is why if any service worker refuses to serve the Seattle PD, this is why.
I saw that. I actually saw that too. That was a good post.
All right.
Good post.
Next call. I have to go grab a water and a granola bar.
Well, I'll talk to him.
All right.
I feel safe talking to this person. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, this is Gabe down in Texas.
What's up, Gabe? How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
I can't complain. What's going on tonight?
Well, I have a question for you. I've been listening to the Butt Rock ups, and they have been amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. And so it's a very simple question about a song that you're probably already familiar with. Woke Up This Morning by Alabama 3. Is it Butt Rock?
I don't know this. Hold on a second. Alabama 3.
This is the Sopranos theme song.
That's what I thought it was. I truly thought that. I don't know. I mean,
I had to look it back up.
It feels like I don't think it is because it feels like garage rock kind of stuff to me. But it's a very funny song though. I do think that. Woke up this morning.
I think the harmonica just throws me, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it would be considered that, but it is very funny that show I believe does have some butt rock in it, including the last episode when Journey plays. And I think AJ Soprano would be very into that kind of music.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, shit.
Yeah. I'm sure he's listening to it now.
Yeah, no, I was very curious.
Yeah, no, anytime. You can ask if any song's butt rock, and I will try to figure out if it is or not.
All right.
All right.
Thanks. Yeah, no, the episodes have been amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So yeah, keep them on up. They've been helping me get through work and stuff. So.
All right, there'll be more.
you.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
Can't stop us.
You can't stop me from making butt rock episodes.
Yeah, I have to make them.
There's 3 more, I think.
Have to get them done.
3 more of those.
3 more. 2000s.
2010s wrap up. Maybe butt rock in the future. Maybe
Yes.
we'll figure out what that is. Could be dead. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's a dying art.
Art. You use the word art.
Yes. It's the ancient art of white man's blues.
It's the Ghost World. Blues Hammer.
I'm so sad. I'm just wailing about it.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, is this me?
This is you. Who's this?
Oh shit! This is Matt from Memphis again.
What's up, Matt? How's it going?
Man, well, I told Brett like a few weeks ago I was going to talk about my community.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
You went mute.
Oh, no. I think you hit the mute button with your cheek.
Oh, no. Hold on. 1 sec.
Okay.
See if I can get it right.
Okay, we can hear you now. You're here.
Are we good?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Sweet.
You're great.
Well, so I wanted to talk about my community service I got sentenced to for doing community service.
Okay.
Back in July when, I got the street fight press and the cops almost dislocated my shoulders and all that.
I do remember that.
So when all that happened, you know, it was a shit time, but like I lucked out. I got a pro bono attorney who just like saw the shit in the news, was like, I thought I'd show up, see if anyone needed help, and she got me a deal where all I'd do was 10 hours of community service, which meant I'd do 16 hours of community service at a random organization that the courts chose for me, which seemed less good, but whatever. But first I went out there, the awesome thing I found out is that the church that they sent me to do community service at was making meals for houseless folks, which is what I went to jail for in the first place, which seemed pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
And B, it was also like the church that let me pee and poop in their bathroom when I was marshaling for the occupation of City Hall. So
Well, that's great.
I don't feel punished at all.
Right. Yeah, well, that's like, yeah, you're in trouble. You have to go do this. You have to go do what you were doing when we arrested you.
Yes, you have to keep doing the things you were going to do anyway. And I don't know, like I'm kind of on the fence of whether I still want to make the court ask me to like prove them wrong because the police lied in their arrest reports and I have video evidence to the contrary. My lawyer's like, yeah, they definitely throw this out because you were exercising your First Amendment rights. Like, there's no way they would convict you for this bullshit charge. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
How was the community service? I mean, you were already out helping the community anyway, so I can't imagine it's that much. It's weird that they make that a punishment.
Man, like it was really cool. Like, I mean, it was kind of like working any service industry job, because like I did have to do like closing up work. Like I had to sweep, I'd go pick up trash outside and stuff. But like most of it was just like, here, we need you to pack bags of lunches for houseless folks. And I was like, oh, that seems dope.
Yeah, not hard.
Weirdest thing about it today, though, on my last day, was there was a city council member that just happened to show up to be a face for actually doing the work without actually doing anything. Really, you know, a lib, but like one of the better city council members we have in Memphis, I'd say. Dude named Jeff Warren.
Yeah.
And I really wish I'd had the balls to be like, hey, good to see you. You're why I'm here. The fact that you did nothing to confront racist policing is why I'm doing community service here.
Right.
But like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would have proven by that.
Yeah, the petty stuff, you know, I mean,
Feels good.
Feels good. But, you know, the satisfaction doesn't last long. You know, better to spend your time.
I don't feel like I would have furthered anything. I don't feel like you'd have been like, oh, well, gosh, I you know, you've changed my mind. I'm going to fix racist policing in Memphis. No.
No, he probably wouldn't have cared. Yeah.
Yeah, I would also, it would be sweet if this was like a TV courtroom where you could like agree to take the plea, but you also are going to refuse. Like, but you're going to do the community service, but then you can also just prove the cops were wrong. That would be a good one too.
Yeah, that's literally what I want to do. Like, I already done all my community service hours at this point. Like,
yeah,
I literally am on the fence about, like, you know, like, I could still make them charge me, even though I did everything they told me to do.
Right.
And I don't know, man. Like, I made the big post about it on Facebook not too long ago when I was drunk one night. But like, still, I kind of feel that fire in me where I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. Explain why you arrested me.
Yeah.
You don't have a good reason for it at all.
Yeah.
I just want to get the state on record saying, like, we screwed up and wasted a bunch of your time for no reason. Like,
Yeah.
and
I think they're in that business.
furthermore, I would have the opportunity to waste their time.
Yeah, I don't.
Which
Yeah.
seems petty, but I don't know, man.
I don't know that they would do it though. They'll say that we have you here because you broke the law. You know what I'm saying? It's like one of those like that they are just like they believe that what they're doing is right all the time and it's never wrong. So it's just one of those things. I would
I mean, that's true.
yeah. I would I would take the win as a I would take it as a win that you didn't get tied up with the state
it
anymore.
would be nice to just move on with my life.
Yeah.
But like I feel almost like a moral obligation to be like, no, fuck you, admit you were wrong about this. Because my lawyer is telling me like, yeah, they were wrong, and if you take this to trial, they're gonna say, no, we're wrong. We're sorry for wasting your time. This was a violation of your First Amendment rights.
I would
But,
go for it then. Fuck.
I mean, that's a gamble.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think, yeah. I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in the state to ever admit that
Yeah.
they did anything. But if you want to make a statement and hopefully get some kind of coverage on it from, you know, obviously somebody that has more of a platform than me and Brett. I mean, if you think you can get some newspaper writer to come down and get the statement out of them, then I think like, you know, maybe it is worth it. But I would chalk it up.
Man, I might be able to do that. Like, I did get in touch and, like, hung out with a lot of people covering the occupation of City Hall for, like, some of the less shitty newspapers in Memphis who were like, yeah, you're right. Like, you're doing the right thing. They are wrong. And I don't know that it would be a stretch that I could take this to trial and just put them on blast and be like, you have to let everyone know where you stand on this or you're going to be done. Like, hopefully, anyway. But that's always the gamble, right?
Yeah.
That you take a risk, you're rolling the dice on whether or not people on board with that risk or not.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a really tough thing. I mean,
we'll go.
Yeah, it's a really tough thing, but it just sort of feels like you got lucky, you got out of there without too bad of a punishment. And I'm a coward, so I would always be like, well, I'll just chalk it up. I don't have to fuck with the state anymore. I'm out of here because they can really make your life hell if they want.
Yes, they have been for several months now. Like, I don't know, maybe it's easier because I've been out of work for so long. I feel like, well, I'm already fucked either way, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you got the time, yeah. If you got the time, go for it. It doesn't seem like you're super worried about, you know, it doesn't seem like you're super worried about the consequences. I don't think it's going to be huge consequence. I don't think you're going to do time or anything like that. So, I mean, but it could cost you money.
Do like sometime, but like, fuck it. Like, I'm not doing shit out loud at this point anymore. It feels like anyway.
Yeah, go for it if you got the time.
I mean, getting to hear them in their own words might be something that's valuable to hear. You know, that's something I always think about. Is like, I would love.
I just want to get the police on the stand and hear them testify about why everything they wrote down, the police report, is absolute bullshit, as is clearly contradicted by the video evidence I have.
They'll say they
And,
ascertained some stuff, and we ascertained that there is a threat level that was previously unascertainable, but then we ascertained it. They love that word, ascertain.
Yeah,
you know,
it happens a lot.
Yes, they do.
They ascertain so much stuff.
So the weirdest shit about it is that they said that I was one of the people arm in arm on the front line, but I was actually on the back line in the tent, being like, I'm the last person that is in this thing, and you still have to get me out of here. And I don't know, like, it's just ridiculous how much cops lie in police reports to me, and I'd love to have that, like, on record in open court. Oh, well, yeah, sometimes we just arrest too many people, so we make shit up.
Yeah. I mean,
it seems good to me.
That's another one of those things, though, that they're gonna take the police's word on that, though, and I don't think police are above lying in court. You know.
But there's literally video of me not being in the situation the cops said they arrested me in.
That's true. I mean, that is true. I don't know. I have no idea. I have no clue. But I would, I'm telling you what I would do, and that is chalk it up as a victory against the state. Even though they kind of did throw you in jail.
Take the win.
Yeah, take the win. Yeah. I'm big on taking the win, you know.
Got to.
But I understand also wanting to get them on record.
I'm sorry for taking up so much of the time, but I just wanted to. I promised Brett weeks ago when I did my first day of community service that I'd call in, and I'm thrilled I got to talk with y'all again.
Oh, thanks for calling. We appreciate it. Call back anytime.
Absolutely.
Have a good
appreciate
night.
it. Keep kicking ass. Peace.
Keep kicking ass. Kicking that ass.
Good talking.
Good talking to you.
Beating up behinds.
Yeah. Keep kicking behinds.
Yep.
Yeah. Keep kicking heinies.
Knock their block off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's
People
it.
get real intimidated when I say, I'm about to knock your block off.
Yeah,
Like,
it sounds
whoa.
old guy as
It
hell
does, it is.
to say. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to knock your block off, pal.
Yeah, it sounds like a fist with an old class ring is about to hit you.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Yeah, this is Doug in Jersey.
What's up, Doug? How's it going?
It's going good actually. My wife headed down to Atlanta about a week early before I head down to my in-laws. So I had my first peace and quiet in 2 years of marriage.
Oh, I need to get some of that.
Dude, it's amazing. It's been just absolutely serene. Wonderful.
You got kids?
No. Thank God, no.
Ah.
Like with no social interaction, she's not going to see her friends. You never have any alone time for entire just hell.
Yeah, I've seen a
we wanted
couple.
to kill each other,
I've seen a few couples I know lose it, like actually get divorced during this thing or break up, like friends online and stuff. It's very trying times for sure, and it is like you said. It's like it's with anybody, even with your partner. It's like you have to go away, like go somewhere for a while, and let me go do life stuff and like build up things to tell you. But like we're doing everything together now. There's nothing new that you can tell me or that I can tell you. We know what's happening.
It's hard times right now.
Yeah.
Hard times.
Yeah, it's like, how was your day? You were on the other side of the wall all day. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's how your day was.
I go take my walks.
I know what you
so
had
I
for
get
lunch.
away. But I got in wife trouble this week. So, it happens. I mean, I'm such a good person.
It's just so nice to be able to just leave like a pizza box out overnight.
Yeah.
And get instant. You know what I mean? It's very liberating.
Yeah.
So that, that's been kind of nice just to enjoy some peace and quiet. So I was calling in for a landlord story, a work story, and I actually DM'd you, Brett. My wife actually worked on one of the vaccines that's coming out. So
Oh yeah.
what I'll just say real quickly. I don't want to get into too much of it because it's just overwhelming our lives. So we don't need to talk about it that much. The research has been going on for 20 years. There's a lot of good people on the science side that are not scumbags on the business side. So that's all I would say to people.
I trust them. Hey, I trust the hell out of them. I'm telling you right now. I would, if Brett was like, surprise, we got you a vaccine, I'd be like, just stick it in there. It's fine. I'll take 3 of them. I'll take one of each. I'll take a Moderna. I'll take a Pfizer, and I'll take an AstraZeneca. If you can get me one of the other ones, I'll take that. I'll take as many. I mean,
pull some strings. Can't you use some? Don't you have any elite friends you can reach out to?
No, I'm not getting them. One of our listeners did get a vaccine.
Okay.
Took a picture getting the vaccine in a Street Fight shirt. I was very impressed. So then I posted that people who buy Street Fight merch get vaccines,
right?
Which is that's a little money in our pocket,
Yeah, that's a great way to get a vaccine.
I mean, if somebody offered me a vaccine right now, if somebody right now left a message on my phone and said, Brian, I got a vaccine for you, you know what I would do? I'd be like, why don't you give that to one of our frontline workers? I'll hold off and wait a little bit. Yeah.
Oh,
Brian.
Yeah.
That's just something I would do. That's the kind of guy I am.
Oh, so precious.
That's such a lie, though. I would take that vaccine right away. Like, I'm going to be jealous of my mom when she gets it. She lives in like a nursing home type thing. I'm going to be like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Why'd you get it before me? I got more time left.
My stepmother is actually one of the head nurses at New York Columbia Presbyterian, and she gets hers on Tuesday. But before the frontline doctors and nurses got vaccinated, and this is true, the CEO and upper management took all the vaccines. So the frontline workers had to wait an extra 4 or 5 days before they got vaccinated.
I heard about that happening at Stanford too.
Vaccines. Yeah, it's happening everywhere because rich people are fucking assholes.
Well, the algorithm is saying we need to make sure our genius C-suite people are here to keep this thing afloat. We need to make sure they're around to make business decisions.
Yeah, the chief technology officer has to make sure that he hits update. It's insane, but it was completely predictable.
Yeah,
so I have two. I was gonna say I have 2 bonus stories. So I was a longtime bartender, and then last year, maybe right around this time, I switched to retail to like a spirit shop. I just know whiskey. It was just an easy transition. I'm going to school.
Yeah, I didn't know what spirits you were talking about.
COVID hits, and I'm in Jersey, so liquor stores essential business. My owner has always been in retail. He's like a deer in the headlights. He doesn't know what to do. Our shop's like 2,300 square feet. It's real small. We can't have people in there. Basically, we turn into like an Amazon fulfillment. We're doing pickups and deliveries only. So he doesn't know what to do. I'm a bartender. One of the guys was a head waiter. So we just did restaurant. We just made a system real quick. It got everything rolling. Business was cranking. He's making a ton of money. And he was one of these he thought he was a good owner. He donated to Bernie. He said all the right things. You know what I mean? He's like, he's in Gen X, like older Gen X lib, that kind of wanted to be cool. So the first thing that happens is, the 3 of the guys that were the closest, all of our partners are women of color. Floyd stuff happens, and like the 3 of us are just walking around irate. So our town had a protest, and like obviously we're gonna go because he supports it. This guy who talked all this racial inequality, all this, wouldn't shut the shop for an hour so we could go to the protest. And that was my first thing going, really?
Yeah.
So then I come to find out so we work through, the virus goes down right around middle of August, PPE expires. We find out he took it. So basically our wages for the last 20 weeks were subsidized. Probably $120,000 windfall, roughly.
Wow.
You know what we got as a bonus?
What'd you get?
We got a $100 bottle of Shatnoff Du Pop.
That he already had.
That he already had. That he paid probably $30 for.
Yeah, I was gonna say I knew it was gonna be
And
whiskey.
He kept his fucking business open for, through a pandemic, and we get the Shatnoff Du Pop, and he got a $100,000 windfall.
Jesus Christ.
And yep. And then so when the second wave came around, I'm fortunate. My wife does well enough where she's like, stay home. So I just told him, I'm like, hey, bud, sorry, this is going to get really bad, and I got older people in my building, so I'm in a position where I can do the right thing, so I'm going to. And, so I'll be back after I get, vaccinated and stuff.
Nice. Hey, you
But I
did
also
it.
have a landlord story.
Okay.
A Christmas bonus story.
Okay.
So back right around the financial collapse in 2008, a bunch of my friends and I were, throwing parties in Brooklyn, we're DJing, doing other nefarious activities. And we know this guy, we're all looking for a place to live. He manages row houses for Hasidics right on the border of South Brooklyn. So we're like, all right, whatever. We're all 21, 22. So we all move in, and we're just like, yeah, we just give him the money every month and whatever. And then all of a sudden he disappears. And we're like, what? So come to find out, we just paid the one Hasidic guy that would come around. We just give him the rent. Then all of a sudden the basement starts flooding and everything starts happening, and they won't fix it. And we're like, we kept paying the rent. We're like, hey man, you got to fix this. You got to fix this. Finally, one of our friends who was in law school goes, you guys have a lease? We're like, I didn't sign anything. And we all figured out that nobody signed anything. So essentially we have squatters' rights. So the next time Moishi comes to get the rent, we're like, no, you're fixing this or you're not getting your money. So instead of fixing it, we go through this long kind of protracted, show up, he would show up or we would show up to court together, and then he obviously doesn't have a lease and he doesn't know, he doesn't know what to do. And so he would just ask for an extension, and we're like, yeah, whatever, we'll take another 90 days.
Yeah.
And so they finally get their act together, and it was one of my buddy's birthday weekend. So two of the guys had agreed to go to court. They no-showed, so we get default evicted.
Oh, fuck.
What?
That sucks.
Right before Christmas, yeah.
Ah, jeez. What'd you... No, go ahead.
We realized that we had definitely in the 3 units all supplied our own refrigerator, our own dishwasher, our own stove, our own microwave, and a couple of the fixtures too. Because one of the guys, he was definitely a union carpenter, and one of the other guys was definitely a union electrician. So for not fixing it, he had to fix it, and that was our Christmas bonus for the year, I think, 2009. So we ended up making money, and he came into a very empty apartment when he came to do an inspection with the sheriffs. So that's by getting back at the scumbag landlord.
Nice. That is great. I did that once. I kicked a door in one time on a landlord, and it was the fucking best feeling, just leaving that place in shambles.
Yeah.
Like, I don't give a fuck.
Right. Yeah.
Well, thanks for calling in.
Absolutely, guys. I don't have anything to plug.
Sweet.
Just everybody's kind of plug yourself. Your own mental health.
Yeah.
Hopefully, hopefully we get back to normal by summer.
Yeah, that's my hope too. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
can't
my
wait.
wife might kill me.
Get out there and see all the smiling faces. You think your wife's gonna kill you?
Yeah, if this goes into the fall, I'm pretty sure I'm a dead man.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
don't want that to happen.
Yeah, I think it's the same for. I need to get on tour, or I'm gonna go fucking crazy. So, thanks for calling in.
Cheers, guys. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Peace.
Yeah, I gotta get back out there. I got that wanderlust. I gotta get out on the fucking road.
Yeah, we love the road.
And we need that money.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who we talking to tonight?
Because me, I'm rusted and weathered and holding together. I'm covered in skin.
Oh, I'm looking at your faces on the stream, and I see that you're maybe not kidding.
We love it.
No, I get it. You missed me laughing. I got it. Very and I said, oh.
Great Jarl.
I was trying my best chin voice.
Chin singing, that's what they call it. And I
Is
said,
that the right one, Brett?
oh.
Is that the right song?
I didn't know the
You sang one
song.
earlier, and I was going weathered.
Weathered. I don't know that one. I don't know that one.
I don't know weathered.
I always sing my own prison. My own prison. I created.
I was listening.
Go ahead.
I was listening to that to the 90s butt rock the other night, Brian, and I was coming up with a theory about the Creed Alter Bridge exchange, which it kind of crosses into the 2000s, which you maybe going to hit on in the next one.
Maybe.
But I'm wondering whether there's like a go for it.
I mean, Alter Bridge, I think, is a different kind of thing. I've never listened to him in my life, not even for a second. So maybe I'll listen to him tomorrow
Oh shit!
while I'm prepping.
You got to do it.
Yeah. I've only heard Creed. I created. I've only heard Creed. So I don't think I've heard Alter Bridge yet. So I'll have to check them out.
Oh man, there's like I was watching them today, and they're so it's incredible.
Yeah.
I was wondering. I'm just thinking like maybe you can work this out for yourself. I don't know. I'm wondering if like between Creed and Alter Bridge, there's like a post 9/11 invasion of Afghanistan transition where like Creed just doesn't work anymore, and like Mark Tremonti figures like, oh shit, I need to do something to like get this project like transitioning, because right after you get Creed feels Afghanistan, and then invasion of Iraq, Alter Bridge the next year takes off, and they just keep going, just flowing. Miles Kennedy, the singer, and Alter Bridge gets into Slash. I saw Slash in his solo project in Belfast, and it was something.
Wow, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, I gotta check it out. I
I'm just,
gotta check out
wondering-
Alter Bridge.
I'm also I'd apologize. I'd apologize for the kind of resurgence of Guns N' Roses without all the Guns N' Roses guys. I saw them in Belfast too, and they were it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
fun.
Hey, I like it.
I loved it.
I went nuts for it. I saw them in Austin. I went fucking wild when they played Rocket Queen and made it 23 minutes because Axl Rose needed a break.
Yeah, I mean, I heard like from the night before Belfast show, they were in Dublin, and like Axl Rose played most of the show with his back towards the crowd because he wasn't happy that he came on 45 minutes late. But whenever they played Belfast, we got like I don't remember the Guns N' Roses song. You Get Us a Special. But anyway, I would wonder, you could check that out maybe if you get into some Alter Bridge for the next show. Recommended. But sorry, like you may have picked up, I'm an international caller. I'm I'm from Northern Ireland, but I'm currently
Nice.
studying in Oxford in England, and I was working for 7 years in China as a kind of English teacher. So Steve from Shanghai will know something about the experiences
You get
over there.
You're
So I got
super
two
close to us, though. I feel like you don't have like a huge accent. I know it's weird to say accent because it's like just the way you talk, but it doesn't sound that much different than here. I didn't even pick up on it right away.
Oh man, I mean, no one does. Like every like Canadian or American person I'd run into in China would be like working me out for like 5 minutes. Just like, what the hell? Like, who's this guy? Where's he from? What's happening? And I know my accent is basically just I watched too much TV at university, and there was a lot of Community and Chuck and all kinds of bullshit kind of shows and stuff.
Do you like sit there? Do you sit there like I do when I'm watching something where people have a different accent, and when they say a word, like whenever I see an Australian thing, when they say no, I go no.
Yeah.
No. Like, I try to say it the way they do.
I wasn't trying like I wasn't trying like a language exchange whenever I was like watching the shows. I was just absorbing something, because there was people at my university who like for 2 years thought I was from America, and whenever I was like leaving the university, they'd be like, well, like Safe Travel's going home again, and I'm like, I live like 1 hour away. Like, what the hell are you talking about?
That's
So-
fucking crazy.
So it's funny, but no. Then whenever I went to China to teach English, I had to start like totally unlearning some of the Northern Irish stuff, because I'd be like, if you're coming to my class and you're going to be talking to me, then you cannot be late. You cannot be late. And I'm like, late? What's late?
Late.
You can't be late. Don't be late to the class.
Late. You can't
So-
be late. I can't do it. I can't do any. I just try to say, like, so if I notice a word has a certain sound, and Brett, you've talked about this in the past when you've talked about doing impressions. You're like, if I sit and listen to somebody and I just keep doing it, it happens.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's just mimicry. It's a lot of just trying.
I can't do
really
it.
Stressing saying it. Yeah.
I've never been able to just pull it off, but there are some words that like I just hear, and like I'll be alone walking and listening to podcasts, and when somebody says something, I say it out loud.
Right.
My buddy Mike Spears from the Everything Elite podcast, he calls Tony Schiavone Tony Schiavone, and every single time he says it, I go, Tony Schiavone. Like, I just keep, I say it out loud because it just is fun sound to say.
Yeah.
No, I mean, cool. So I think I had come with a couple of ideas to talk about. Like, one was from kind of experiences working at a university in China, and I left them just during the summer, right before everything got worse in the UK. And another one was about going back to the kind of preacher, the kind of Christian minister stuff that you were doing in the Patreon, Brian.
Oh, Holy Boys.
About the son of the Holy Boys, the Baker child, Jay Baker.
Yeah.
Who kind of, I guess you could say he. This was like 5 years ago, but I guess you could say he doxed me on Twitter. So there's a kind of two things to go with there, and they're not the best to end the show with.
What happened there? Is Jay Baker the punk rock guy, right?
Yes, exactly. That's the one. He's the guy from New York who had the whole kind of like tattoo church or whatever revolution, I think it was called.
Yeah, tattoo.
How did he dox you?
So I mean, it's a little bit involved, but it involves Northern Ireland, so it's kind of where I'm from. There's a guy who's from Northern Ireland called Peter Rollins, and he was part of like a kind of what you could call like Christian atheist project.
Okay.
That was about like solving the troubles in Northern Ireland. So he broke off from a group, a church group in Northern Ireland. Well, not really a church group. They were like a not church group explicitly, but very Christian. And so he broke off from them, but borrowed like a lot of their practices and sold them in books about like how to be like Christians, but not Christians who believe in God, just, you know, do a church and, you know, help
decent.
the world or something.
Yeah, just be decent.
Help Northern Ireland. So he got in, and Jay Baker kind of attached to him, and there's a guy, Rob Bell was the name, who also heard about this Peter Rollins guy, and he invited Peter Rollins over to America, and he would do like, you know, stuff at Rob Bell's church. Rob Bell was like he caused a whole controversy about like saying that like everybody would go to heaven even if they weren't Christians and all this stuff.
Oh.
And
That
so he
cause
would
some
like,
trouble.
you know, there's some nice stuff there, I suppose.
Yeah, I like that guy.
But I was kind of just having a go on Twitter with about Peter. No, it was on Facebook. I was having a go on Facebook like 5 years ago. Like it was a private thing. Like I'd sort of picked out like, you know, people on my Facebook who could see this message about like, you know, some of this, like Peter Rollins, like, you know, the troubles, the problem of the troubles in Northern Ireland has never gone away. It hasn't gone away for like 30 years. You know, this is all, you know, keeps going. Everybody doesn't, like in Belfast or wherever doesn't like each other. And his project isn't doing anything. So kind of selling this project isn't doing anything, but he keeps like sort of presenting it like he does, and he would sell it, especially in America. He would sell it to lots of Americans, saying, you know, pay like, you know, $1,000 or whatever, and come over to Northern Ireland, and you can come to a retreat and like spend time with me, and we'll talk about like Slavoj Žižek, and we'll talk about all these ideas, and we'll, you know, work through some stuff, and you know, you'll be introduced to all these ideas that like solve world peace and, you know, international tensions and community problems and all kinds of things. And people would go, and I was just saying like, this doesn't work. It's not cool. It's not working. And so there was a person who was among these like very select people who could see this post I put up on Facebook, who screenshot it and sent it to Jay Baker, who was friends with Peter Rollins. And then Jay Baker took the screenshot that he got, put it on Twitter for like his tens of thousands, 30,000 whatever followers or whatever to see. And I woke up one morning because of the time difference when I was in China, and just like had like an onslaught of just a whole like Twitter feed of incoming messages like, who is this guy? What's he saying? Why is he like talking shit about other people? And I was just like, what the hell's going on? And like Jay Baker's like, you know, I've been looking through all of your blog posts when I had a blog, and was like, I see that you liked Peter Rollins like a long time ago. It's like, yeah, I was 21. Like now I'm like 27 or whatever, and I've moved on a little bit. Like,
yeah,
what's the discrepancy here? So he was just going on and on.
I
like,
think
for ages, and go for it.
I think you'd be very surprised at how much American conservatives like Ireland. The dads in the in the suburbs, they're enraptured by it, and you can tell them anything happened in Ireland and they'll be like, oh yeah, I know, I'm Irish actually, you know, second generation probably. Like hillbillies are always saying like, yeah, I'm Irish. And it's like, if I was in Ireland, I would also come up with a cool grift to get money out of those people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean that was the thing. Like, I mean, I'm not even talking from just like observation. I'm talking from firsthand experience, because like when I was 21, like, you know, my parents are super kind of fundamentalist, kind of Christian type people, and I like lied and stuck away to go to one of these Peter Rollins gigs whenever they first kicked off, and Jay Baker was there, and so I was like, you know, oh yeah, sure, like I'm not going to tell you I don't believe in God, but like you know, whatever, I'm just going to try and hide and do this thing. And I was there. I saw everything. I experienced all of it. And there was an American family who was there at the same time who were like, yeah, we're trying to track down our grandmother who lived in Belfast and see what she lived, where she lives, and how she got away and came to America and all these things. And yeah, like I saw all that firsthand. So whenever like later it was sort of building and kind of falling into place that like this is just like a money scheme, and you can see, like, I mean, on YouTube or and all sorts of things, you can see this Peter Rollins guy, if you ever dug it up, like he's talking with, kind of, the sort of podcasters that Brace Belden would say he wants to share a show with, or whoever on TrueAnon. Like he's on all those shows doing all those things and saying all this stuff. I mean, he's making real money out of the Northern Irish game.
Yeah, I would do the same thing. Well, thank you for calling in. It was cool to talk to you.
Oh, no problem.
And I'm going home.
No.
Have a good night.
Yeah, thanks.
I feel bad. I feel bad ending the show on such a kind of,
No, it was great.
Note, because there's a lot of good politics stuff. But
we're actually gonna.
I've been listening to the show since 2016, so
holy moly,
it was cool to say hi.
We're actually going to end the show on plugs, so you can't bring down the end of the show. We do it ourselves.
No sweat.
Have a good night.
Plug. I don't plug myself. So.
Nice.
It was good chatting. See you.
Have a good night.
Peace. All right, thanks for listening. And if you want to listen to Holy Boys, it's available with a subscription to Street Fight Radio at that $5 level. Or you can just buy it outright. If you don't want to do the subscription thing, for $5, it's available at store.streetfightradio.com. You can get download codes for Shocktober Volume 1, Shocktober Volume 2, Holy Boys, and Teen Fight Radio. We've got more on the way. Also, you can get access to digital zines. If you want the first 12 digital zines, you can get it as a download. And if you are interested in a cameo from Brian and I to send to one of your friends or something, we'll listen to your offer if you're interested. Thank you for everybody that supports the show and makes this happen. I can't wait to get out there and see you all again and say hi and commiserate on how wild this year has been. We're going to continue to spread this mess across the U.S. We'll be back on Wednesday night. We're going to do a gift exchange, I think, a little bit of gift exchange. And right now, shirt production is kind of on hold. I think I'm not going to work this week, really. So I'll see you. I'll be working next Monday if you're expecting emails from me. But other than that, follow me on social media, Street Fight WCRS on Instagram, where I share behind-the-scenes stuff, pictures, and live streams and all that shit. And Brian is hanging out on Twitter mostly. MurderXBrian is the guy to follow. Also, twitch.tv/StreetFighterRadio. I'm going to do some more video game streaming. That was fun. Playing video games is fun. I enjoy it. It's a good hangout thing. And having a bunch of people watch, it makes it feel like there's people in the room. So, yeah. Find us, twitch.tv/StreetFighterRadio. You'll get notified when I'm playing. Come hang out. And we'll see you on